box with all your analog media. Send it to our headquarters in Tennessee, where we digitize everything by hand. And in just a few weeks, we'll send back your originals, digitized, preserved, and stored in the cloud. So you can easily stream, download, and share your memories anytime, anywhere. Join the millions of families that have trusted Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/Clay&Buck for 50% off. That's legacybox.com/Clay&Buck for 50% off.
Special Olympics Georgia is teaming up with Dunkin' Donuts for Cops on Donut Shops on June 6th from 6 to 10 a.m. Join us for the torch run and then some treats with our heroes on the streets. Together, we'll help raise money and awareness for Special Olympics Georgia athletes. Drive through and donate at participating Dunkin' Donuts June 6th or at specialolympicsga.org.
This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta on Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Extra app.
The Kimmer Show is only on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
Pete Davis, you started the show today mentioning what the special day this is? National
Spinach Day.
Spinach Day. And in 1937, this day, Crystal City, Texas, spinach growers erected a statue of Popeye.
And that was some erection, I'm going to tell you.
Thank you. Well, the size of the forearms alone.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. This is Atlanta's new home for Fox News. Extra 106.3 FM. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 FM.
The talks are intensive. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's how Canada's Prime Minister describes trade talks with the U.S., also telling the House of Commons Canada is preparing to strike back if a tariff deal is not reached. The U.S. set today as a deadline for best offers from multiple countries.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that there are 18 active negotiations with our trading partners.
Fox Business's Edward Lawrence at the White House. The U.S. trade representative says a meeting with EU officials in Paris today showed a willingness to work on a concrete way forward to achieve reciprocal trade.
The top EU negotiator adding this: we're advancing in the right direction at pace and staying in close contact to maintain momentum.
Elon Musk tripling down on his criticism of the House-passed bill to advance the Trump agenda, posting today that no one who actually reads it should be able to stomach it. Some Republican lawmakers share his debt concerns and are pushing for more spending cuts, but Senate Majority Leader John Thune tells Fox cuts have to start somewhere.
Everybody knows we can't afford to allow a $4.5 trillion tax increase at the end of this year, and that's what the Democrats are advocating for.
The bill would extend the expiring 2017 tax cuts. Democrats pointing to new estimates from the Congressional Budget Office that the bill would leave nearly 11 million more people uninsured. A Washington state man accused of supplying ingredients for last month's bombing of a California fertility clinic, which killed 2 people, including the bomber, Guy Edward Bartkus. 32-year-old Daniel Park now charged with multiple counts, including providing material support to a terrorist.
Mr. Park, who shares Bartkus's extremist beliefs, is accused of shipping approximately 180 pounds of ammonium nitrate, an explosive precursor commonly used to construct homemade bombs.
U.S. Attorney Bill S.A. Lee says the men met in an online forum sharing a belief that people shouldn't exist. America is listening to Fox News.
Summer is all about making memories, right? Backyard barbecues, road trips, maybe finally getting around to that hiking trail you've been eyeballing. But if you're living with pain, those future memories can be stolen from you. So here's a thought. Call 1-800-4RELIEF and try Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement designed to help your body fight pain. It's a doctor-developed formula made from natural ingredients. Best part? Relief Factor doesn't mask pain. It helps reduce or even eliminate it for good. Whether it's kayaking, running around with the little ones, or just chilling in a hammock, Relief Factor can help you feel better, move better, and do more of the things you love all summer long. So if you're ready to reclaim your summer, head over to ReliefFactor.com or give them a call at 1-800-4RELIEF. Do it now and get their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
How about that? Look out. It's only me, just adjusting here. How you doing? It's only the Kimmer. Stand by with Pete Davis, sidekick producer, and little Blue Monster Cookie Man there as well, Waldo or whoever. Purple Rover and Flounder at the controls there. How you doing, boy? I got to get my headphones. There we go. All right, hold on a minute. Something's wrong here. There we go. Okay, settling in. Hump day. How's everybody doing? Here's the number, 404-741-1230. I like this song. I love the beat of the song. In fact, when you hear the song, I don't know about you, but when I hear the song, I think of the Terminator coming out of that bar, and you see his boots, and then the leather jacket, and then the guy with a shotgun. He gets on there. And that was Terminator 2, I believe. Anyway, how you doing? 304, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Pete Davis, Mountains of Macon. What's 24 hours? Any exciting happenings of any kind, sir?
What an absolutely beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Really? Well, very nice. Mm-hmm. Warm and sunny. Of course, a little cooler in the mountains there in Macon, I guess, probably. But it is a beautiful morning. In fact, if I had time, I was going to try to take a little chopper ride for like 30 minutes or something, just for the fun of it. But I feel like I'd be cheating, because then I wouldn't be working on the show. So anyway. What? Okay. Yeah.
You should cheat a lot more often.
Yeah. I don't think we notice.
What are you saying? Oh my God, are we having what do they call when you get together and not an insurrection, when a powwow, when you're trying to help the guy get off of drug abuse or something? Oh, not intervention. Intervention. All right, what did I do? What are you trying to change? Just tell me. Just be straight up about it. All right, never mind. And Flounder, what's new with you and Mrs. Flounder there?
Same old, all as well.
Yeah? Okay.
I think what we were saying is you should try and enjoy the time that you have not spending on the show.
What are you saying?
I'm saying in your day-to-day activity, you plan the show the majority of your morning.
Yeah, I do.
And you should enjoy that chopper and anything else.
Well, I know. Well, today, for example, I had to go to the store. In fact, I'll tell you.
Go hit golf balls in the morning.
I don't have time. If I live 30 minutes away and hit balls for 45 minutes and then dread 30, I don't have 2 hours. There's no way between 5:30 and 11:30 when I'm in the shower and leaving for work after that I could do anything.
I mean, I don't think you actually need to be here till about 2:00.
That would never happen. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I can't even imagine. Even if I did all my work at home for 6 hours before I come into the show, I still couldn't just all of a sudden show up an hour before the show.
I know. That would drive me crazy, too. I can't do it.
It's just unbelievable. Yeah. 306. Anyway, so Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and we got a lot of really cool newsy stuff. And I'm going to start off with a couple of local tie-in newsy things here in just a few minutes as we get going. And we have Pete has a game. We also have an AI update. And I'll tell you what, they're talking every time I hear conversations on Glenn Beck or the other guys about AI. And now they're fighting over whether states, Marjorie Taylor Greene was in the news, fighting over whether states are going to have the right to have some say in an AI universe. And the feds don't want the states to have anything to do with it, I think. They want to keep it. We've never had. What do we do? We've never had this.
If this AI report today is true, which I think it will be soon, it will change the show. It could change our lives.
Absolutely. They don't need us. There's not a single word that we don't have on tape recorder
this AI needs us.
Oh, well, then let's do it fairly soon in the show, and then maybe do it again later. In fact, I don't know what you're talking about. I know you have an AI thing. If this is some really, and I didn't see it, so if this is some cool, let's do it in the next few minutes, and then we'll do it again after 5. People ought to hear this.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do that. 307, and first of all, just kind of a daily thing. Flounder, would you tell the little people about going into the break room earlier today?
Someone, not me, microwaved their lunch, and it was
it cabbage and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts and cow dung and kind of a combination with
rotten eggs.
Cullen, the board op and producer for Down the Hall at 680, I came back out of the bathroom, and he was spraying the kitchen. He was like, "Man, it's bad. It's bad."
Oh man, why would you can't do that. Now you have you go get lunches and just Mrs. Flounder make you your lunch.
Yes. So anytime whenever whatever we cook in the evening, she always makes enough for leftovers for both of us.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So, but I mean, she also makes stuff that's
make you a plate,
courtesy of not offending the other coworkers.
Yeah, well, heat up broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage and onions. And
you can. Broccoli's not bad.
I love broccoli and cauliflower, but I wouldn't bring it to work and heat it up into like a hot tuna fish with it or something.
Oh, I mean, like a lot of times I'll just have chicken, rice, and
that's wonderful. That's fine. That's food. That's that's just stuff anyway. and I do. I've told you I'll get a bag at the store once in a while, the broccoli and cauliflower mixed up together, and I'll put butter all over it and then fry it in the oven and bake it. What do they call it? To broil it. You get all blackened and stuff with a lot of butter and salt. Oh, delicious. Anyway. All right, 309, Kimmer, Pete, and Flauta. Because you can tell by my, in fact, I should do some planking. In fact, I'm going to do planking of the what Pete says is the cheating planking, which is the official planking, and then I'll do Pete's big time Charlie planking up above here. And by the way, because of my age, I only have to do it for like 10 seconds. Is that amazing? And if you're in like your 40s, in fact, I wrote this down. If you're in your 20s and 30s, you should be able to plank for up to a minute. If you're in your 40s to 50s, you should be able to plank for 30 to 45 seconds. If you're over 60, well, it doesn't say if you're over 70, but over 60 plus, like 20 seconds is really well done. And I suppose the higher you get toward 80, less than that.
Well, you work up to it.
Yeah. Well, I haven't, and in fact, I'm going to try it because I just realized I haven't worked out, and I used to work out a lot, weight training and running. I ran marathon. You remember all the story. But I literally have not gone to a gym to work out in years.
Yeah.
Years. Now, I've done a lot of activity, carrying my bag and walking a golf course and stuff, so I've been active and stuff, but I have not done weight training and, punch bag stuff and the rowing machine, stuff like that in years and years and years. And the hand grip thing, that's a great idea. Everybody should have that in your car. Yeah, put it in your car when you're driving along. Yeah, absolutely. Those hand squeezer workout things. So I'm gonna do some planking here at some point later on today, just see how I do. I have no idea. I mean, I went in the pose for a second yesterday just to whatever, but I haven't really done it. We'll see.
On that dirty floor.
I don't care. Hell, I got to take a shower later. Let's see. Anyway, we have a game and we have tweets and we have Holy Crap, it's sports. And, geez, we got a lot of things here. So and your calls, we love your phone calls, 404-741-1230. 1230, 741-1230. And Pete, a quick sports thing. Man, I tune into the Braves, and I'm going, Captain Stryker. All right, he's back. He's got the mustache and he's got the legs and the tight leg, and all of a sudden, bam, throws a high fastball right down chest high, bam,
he's
home run.
He's coming back from Armin. Come on.
I know. I'm saying, and I felt so bad for him because he's so good. And when he worked that slider, I mean, he was just eating him. I mean, the guy is so talented and so good. But I feel so bad for him because he's going to have to go through a lot of stuff. He no longer throws 101; he throws 96. Which is great, but if you miss your spot at 96, they're going to hit it. So, and what was it, 3 homers? I couldn't believe it. So again, I'm not down on him at all. I think he's going to finish the year, and you'll probably not lose another game, assuming we can hit for him. But I was glad to see him out there. And I think he held his head high for what I saw. I didn't watch the whole game, so I'm on their side. But I think it's terrible that they lost the game, but he's it's I feel bad for the guy. It's tough on the guy. He's got to go through it.
The game is hurting itself with this absolute fascination with speed and throwing as hard as you can for as long as you can.
Yeah.
People won 300 games by pitching less velocity, but they knew how to pitch.
Yeah.
And you see all these young, great arms that are blowing their arm. AJ's lost his, Strider's lost his, that Dustin May from L.A., all these kids that come up and they're great for a year or two, and then boom, the arm goes out.
Yeah.
They could last for 18 years, like a Tom Glavine or a Greg Maddux, if they just the team. It's the teams, and it's all the teams that are doing this. All the teams. This fascination with throwing as hard as you can for as long as you can until you blow your arm out.
Yeah, I know. And it's amazing it only started recently, really. It never started. Back Nolan Ryan, 30 years ago was a speedballer, but nobody else was trying to mimic and all throw 100 miles an hour. So all of a sudden something happened that changed. And I'm not sure what it was, but athletes bigger and stronger, I guess.
We've all gotten dumber.
Yeah, natural.
We've all gotten dumber. Instead of saying, no, that's not good for the game, let's just stop doing that. It's just, let's just keep doing it, you know?
Well, I remember until we were not allowed to throw, even to try to throw a curveball in Little League or Babe Ruth. I mean, until I think we were like 16 or I don't remember, but it was as kids, we were not allowed to even try to throw a curveball.
Couldn't throw a curveball. No, you couldn't. You were not allowed to throw a curveball. If you were, they talk to you or take you out of the game. In fact, I saw some from supposedly some kinesiologist, muscle doctor, whatever. I don't know if this is true or not, but he's saying that you shouldn't throw over 90 miles an hour until you're like 26. Which is ridiculous. That'll never happen. But still, that just shows how the elbows are not built to do this.
Again, if you have never done this, look at slow motion big league pitching.
What it's doing.
Oh, I mean, you can't make it right. You can't pose the way that elbow has to bend like that. I mean, I can't do it. Holding my arm, I couldn't get into the position they do for a part of that.
Balls,
and then turning and twisting and turning. Oh, man. I mean, go to Google slow motion baseball pitcher in Major League stuff. I mean, it's unbelievable. You wonder they could walk around. You got to lift a coffee cup. Anyway, 3:14 already. Holy cow. Kevin, Pete, and Flounder. I will talk newsy stuff. We got more Biden probing things, and we also got a couple local stuff with a traitor. The former federal Gestapo investigation, Christopher Wray, should be in prison. More evidence to that coming up. The perjurer and more. 3:14, Kevin, Pete, and Flounder. Hump day. Look out.
America drives the world economy. And with ongoing global trade deals, tariffs doing their job, and inflation dropping, we force the world to step up. So don't let the mainstream media spin it to you any differently. Get the news that matters to you from Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Gentlemen, listen up. When it's not hard, it's really hard. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 have some form of ED? It's true, and I'm one of them. ED followed me everywhere. Heck, even my initials are ED. I'm Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia, and I know ED. It can lead to feelings of embarrassment, stress, and sadness. But there's good news. I can fix it. I fixed mine, and I can fix yours too. At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, we are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, trimix to create an erection, and more. Guys, ED won't get better on its own, but I can help you today. Call us at 404-777-1911. That's 404-777-1911, or learn about us more online at tbtofga.com. So take it from me, ED, Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Call 404-777-1911 or online at tbtofga.com.
You protect your physical health by choosing your doctors carefully. Protect your financial health by choosing an attorney carefully. An accident can be very costly. You want to receive the compensation you deserve. Call Van Sant Law. My friend David Van Sant will take care of you, trust me, very well. The number is 855-GA-INJURY. The website is vansantlaw.com. In the event of an accident, it could be the most important phone call you make.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
A second opinion with Coach Pete's local trusted advisor, Craig Chandler of Chandler Wealth Management, can reveal red flags and what Coach Pete calls financial termites.
Yeah, let's look behind the scenes and make sure you're doing the right thing. And if you're not, the absolute best time to find out you're doing the wrong thing was before you did it. But now the second best time is today. And maybe you have too many financial termites in your portfolio. Who knows? Financial termites, too much risk, too many fees, and commissions coming out of your money. Say you give a broker $100,000 and then you look at your first statement and it says $90,000 and you didn't do any trading. And so be very careful about it. There's a lot of warning signs that pop up in my head when I hear different things. And if someone is slamming safe alternatives, folks, too, by the way, I mean, we practice risk and safety principles here, making sure you have that properly balanced portfolio. But if you have an advisor who's pushing all safety all the time or all risk all the time, then they're not the real advisors for you, I don't think, for retirement.
Call for a comprehensive review with Craig Chandler, 800-419-6164, 800-419-6164.
Return to sender. Return to sender.
Elvis here.
I gave a letter to the postman. He put it in his sack.
I remember liking this song a lot.
Bright and early next morning, he brought my letter back.
He wrote about it. And I worked for years with a guy who was the singer of the Elvis Presley and the Elvisites, or whatever they used to call them, the pioneers, or what the hell was Elvis and the what?
Jordanaires.
Jordanaires. And one of the Jordanaires worked at part-time at the radio station I worked at in the early 70s here in Atlanta, 1972. And he did a Saturday show or something, as I recall, music show, and he was one of the Jordanaires. Anyway, all right, I didn't get to the thing here. 1992 was on this day. The U.S. Postal Service announced the results of their poll to see which picture of Elvis should be put on a commemorative stamp. They had the big fat old Elvis from Vegas days, and they had the young good-looking Elvis days, and it was the young Elvis that won out 1992, the Elvis stamp. Our birthday list, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder Show. How you doing? Birthday include Parker Stevenson, 73 years old. he is kind of like John Davidson, and he's kind of the typical 70s and 80s beautiful hair. Yeah, he was in the Hardy Boys. He was in Nancy Drew, Baywatch, North and South. Parker Stevenson is 73, and a whole bunch of other. I mean, he was around for a long time, so then good for him. And on this day, I got Mr. Phone blacked out of me, you idiot. On this day in history, it was 1896, 4 o'clock in the morning. A shed behind his home on Bagley Avenue in Detroit City, Henry Ford unveils his quadricycle, the first automobile he ever designed or drove. He was working for the Edison Illuminating Company, worked on this contraption all hours of the day. He was able to use flexible working schedule to experiment it. It was a pet project, a horseless carriage with a gasoline-powered engine. He saw an article in 1895 about in a machinist magazine. He said some Detroit engineer was trying to build one using wood and stuff, and apparently it could ride for like 5 miles an hour. So after setbacks, Henry Ford, ready to test drive his creation, a light metal frame, 4 bicycle wheels, and a 2-cylinder, 4-horsepower gas engine. His chief assistant helped. They wheeled the damn thing out of the shed, discovered it was too wide. Oops-a-daisy. Oh, now what happened to my thing? They discovered it was too wide to fit through the door, so he took an axe to the brick wall of the shed, smashed it to bits so he could roll out the vehicle, and became one of the big stories of American or world industry for that matter. Anyway, were you sending me a message here, or was that somebody else? Sorry, I didn't see. The hell? Oh, it's one of those stupid, I thought I turned my phone down. I apologize. I'm turning it even lower now. I'm getting an awful lot of these polls. Almost every day I get a stinking poll. And I always say delete and report junk, and I'm still getting them every day. I get more polls.
Somebody's polling you every day?
They're polling me every day, baby.
They're polling you?
That's what she said. 322, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Okay, a couple things. I want to start with a couple local angle reaction things here. And I'm going to try to be calm, but once again, it just proves that the former Bureau of Gestapo investigation, Christopher Wray, should be in prison. The FBI, Senator Grassley's now come out with more information, biased source memos. All this stuff is now coming out into the open. The FBI lied and hid about the extent, covered up what lawmakers are calling the anti-Catholic operation targeting churchgoers under Joe Slimebag, the criminal wash-your-daughter Biden. Despite then Christopher Wray telling Congress, it was one memo. It was really, Congress people, look, okay, I'm not, one memo. And look, I got to go on vacation. I got my private jet waiting, so I have to go now. I swear to God. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye. And off he goes. Dirty, rotten liar. There were a whole crap load of them. A crap load. At least 13 more documents and 5 attachments. Terminology, quote, radical traditionalist Catholic. And their source was the Southern Poverty Law Center. Probably one of the most despicable organizations that ever freaking lived lately. Now, they may have represented some good things 40 or 50 years ago. I think when I came here in the 70s, they were pretty well known for taking on, weird causes stuff, which is fine. ACLU, that's fine. Everybody should have representation. But, for these freaking lying, dirty, they're liars. The Southern Poverty, my God. Wray did not reveal the existence of a second draft document of any kind. He said it was a product of one field office. Under oath. He freaking committed perjury again. They've been caught him more than once. A whistleblower brought it to light. A second memo drafted by a field office for wide distribution went to like 1,000 of them all over the freaking nation. In fact, in Buffalo, New York, they expressed concerns about hate groups identified by the Southern Poverty Law Center and mentioned in the other memo as far up here as Atlanta. Despite letters focused on the preparation of the memo, its dissemination, the use of biased sources such as the radical Southern Poverty Law Center, and later the FBI's misleading representations to Congress, including those of former Director Wray, unquote, Senator Grassley. Let's not forget, Christopher Wray was the lying cheat director, insurrectionist leader behind January 6th, by the way. He's the one who said, we don't know, I can't talk to you about the investigation of the FBI agents who planted that pipe bomb, or I mean the FBI assistants, or no, I mean I've never heard of the guy. Oh, and remember that guy in Texas that we have on video saying, remember you come here and you got to break in there and you got to go here. Oh, he was nothing. Oh, I've never heard of him before. I don't know anything about that. Oh, by the way, remember I testified. See, the reason we only have to arrest the people at the abortion clinics who are conservatives is because they commit their crimes protesting in the daytime. We can't arrest all the protesters for George Floyd or for Antifa or Black Lives Freaking Matter or any of that other crap because they do it at night and it's harder to catch them. Unquote, FBI Gestapo Director Christopher freaking traitor liar Wray. This is despicable. Proof he's like a perjurer. He's probably done. Probably they should go down. Probably, I think he's probably got another couple of condos down in Costa Rica where he's shredding documents he stole before they catch him with everything. What a freaking disgrace! Atlanta's own Christopher Wray. The guy who said, I couldn't tell anything about the Hunter laptop because it might affect the election. And by not telling the truth, it affected the election. Dirty, despicable greaseball. You notice how clever he was when he said that. Well, I think I didn't want to affect the election. It wouldn't be fair. You affected the election by not telling the truth. You dirty, rotten sneak. God, I hate these people. One more thing, another thing of justice. And now we get even more local. With Fanny the Floozy, the uppity schmuppity district attorney of Fulton County. Guess what? A federal judge, you may not remember the case. There was a case in the death of a guy named Jimmy Atchison. The police officer named Sung Kim, last name Kim, was arrested after he shot the 21-year-old black man during an operation of an arrest, and he was wanted. He fled the scene. He was subject of an arrest for armed robbery. He fled from law enforcement. They showed up taking him into custody in an apartment complex. They found him in a closet under a pile of clothes in another woman's apartment, and the officer pointed a gun at Atchison and yelled, show us your hands, don't move, cooperate. Atchison not only didn't dead, he rapidly and suddenly shoved the hands aside like he was pulling out a gun, so the cop fired. Thinking Mr. Atchison had a gun and was going to shoot because he kept saying, he kept acting like he was coming at him. Fired one shot. He was arrested and indicted in December 2022 on charges including manslaughter, felony murder, and aggravated assault. That's Fannie freaking Willis. Murder case? A police officer. Duh. No kidding. That's because that's what she believes. Well, here's what the judge said. Officers called out multiple times for him to reveal himself. No response. The judge said, it is hard to celebrate when a young man died, but there is no doubt that the decision of the Fulton County DA's office, that's Fanny the Floozy, to compound the tragedy by prosecuting Sergeant Officer Kim was an inexcusable abuse of prosecutorial discretion. Judge Brown's decision was unambiguous. Sung Kim's acted in self-defense. This judge said, Michael Brown said in his ruling, the evidence for self-defense is so overwhelming. It is hard to understand how Georgia could have even brought these charges in the first place, much less continued with them over 2.5 years since. Fanny the Floozy, Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County, Democrats going after cops. Yep. Murder charge. You rotten snakes. You rotten, dirty snakes. You know, finally, and again, this is a U.S. District Judge who did the right thing. In fact, let me get the judge's name here if I can find it. U.S. District Judge Michael Brown. The good Michael Brown. Okay. Let's see. Oh, one more quick story here before we take the old cowboying the break. Again, I'm sorry I was yelling and screaming, but it makes me so freaking angry. Luckily, the truth is coming out. I mean, the actual stuff is coming out, so that's good. I'm sorry, were you saying, what, were you laughing at me or what?
It's like old John Cleese Monty Python skit where he's a chef and somebody insults his food. He comes out with the meat cleaver. This makes me so mad.
Or it's like reminds me of the hospital in Caddyshack when they're having dinner and what's his name, Klaviker was
Dangerfield.
Dangerfield said, I bet this is like I can see the marks where the jockey was whipping. I had better food at the ballpark. It's a horse meat, and the chef is coming out with a cleaver. Dog food. Sorry. Anyway, it's 3:30. Coming up, more Biden stuff. They're going to go after more Biden key aides to find out what the hell happened about the auto pen and everything else. All that's coming up. Also, remember the crazy plane lady? Well, she's back, and we'll talk more about it. 3:30, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How you doing? Look out.
Extra 106.3 app is your live connection to the station, streaming free across Georgia. But it's also loaded with all our original shows and podcasts. Listen to exclusive shows from Janelle King, Ben Burnett, and so many more. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Mark your calendars because summer is here and it's time to slide into summer at Truist Park as the Arizona Diamondbacks come to town June 3rd through the 5th. Fans can enjoy back-to-back giveaways June 4th and 5th featuring the Truist Park Stadium replica and the Beach Tote Bag presented by Visit Sarasota. Also on June 5th, the first 1,000 kids can join a pregame parade around the warning track and get a high five from Braves players.
Baldwin cranks one, flying back and way gone.
And May and the A deals were so great, we extended them through the Diamondback Series. That means $10 tickets and parking, $1.99 hot dogs, and $3.99 Miller High Life. Plus, don't forget to stop by the Braves Clubhouse store for 50% off City Connect hats and City Connect logo t-shirts. You can't beat great baseball and deals like this. Head to Braves.com/summer to get your tickets today and check out all of the summer fun. Atlanta Braves baseball. We are Braves country.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's here to tell you about a new company that is changing the way people buy their next pre-owned car or truck. At The Honest Car Guy, they offer a completely transparent way to purchase a vehicle. You pay what he pays, plus a small honest fee. You can choose any make or model. He will search the country for the best deal out there. He'll handle the paperwork, your trade-in, shipping, and even give you the bill of sale. Friends, I've done the research, and this is a buying process that you can trust. Call 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit online at honestcarguy.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's the Kimmer. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Removing taxes on your Social Security benefits. No taxes on tips. No taxes on overtime. The bill passed. Every single Democrat in the House of Representatives voted no.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
All right, look out now. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davidson, Flounder, 334. Here's the number, 404-741-1230, 1230. Iron Maiden aboard here. 1992, Iron Maiden played a gig at the Oval Pub in Norwich. They had 400 fans as the Nodding Donkeys. And they were there as the Nodding Donkeys as a thank you to the pub's landlord, Chris Hiles. I don't know what's that got to do with donkeys, but that's all right with me. The guys, Iron Maiden.
You'll take my life, but I'll take yours too.
Oh, you take my life, and I'll take yours too. Let's hear a little of this. I don't know these people.
So when you're waiting for the next attack, you better stand. There's no turning back. The bill of sounds, the times begin.
Now, is this heavy metal? Or what do we call this? Heavy metal? And I know the name. I guess they're as big as they get, right? I mean, they're with like Metallica and all those guys. Iron Maiden's huge. Okay. Do they have any reputation of anything? I really don't. I know the name, but I don't really know anything about them. Are they famous for anything? Or?
Their album covers always had some weird art on it, some monster or something coming at you.
Yeah. I kind of I remember in my head a logo of some kind that stuck out, and I remember when I see that I thought of Iron Maiden. So maybe it was like a chain or something, or a logo.
It's a torture device. So
yeah. Now that's what it was. I have one in my closet all the time. I forgot the damn thing. Sorry. Really? Ixnay and the Ockingtay of the Ifeway. Our birthday list includes Noah Wiley. Noah Wiley's 54. Dr. John Carter on ER. Tom Mason on Falling Skies. And Flynn Carson on The Librarians. Now, Noah Wiley is on The Pit on Max, which I guess is a TV thing. Is that Cinemax? Do they call it Max now, or is that another
HBO
one?
Max. It's going back to HBO Max, because no one knows what the blank Max is, like you just demonstrated.
I don't have any idea what's up with anything. In fact, I'm calling Kevin over, my Delta pilot buddy, who keeps saying, I'll come over there, and in 20 minutes I will fix all your TVs into what you'll be, if da-da-da-da-da. And I keep saying, okay, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it. I just got a message on my phone the other day, and it says, this is Infinity calling. We are canceling your 50% discount. And hung up. Excuse me? So I didn't even know what that means. So I'm now, like in the morning tomorrow or someday, I'm going to have to drive to the North Point Mall and go to the Infinity Comcast office and say, what the hell's going on with my freaking account for almost $400 a month for your lousy stinking service?
Be nice.
I'm always nice.
When you go in there.
I know it. And now, by the way, I feel bad about this too. Today in history, one of the most famous speeches in the world. 1940, Winston Churchill, House of Commons. the Parliament of the United Kingdom, talking about the impending Nazi threat during World War II. This is 1940. And I remember the speech. I wasn't there, but I remember the speech. I've heard it many times. And I Googled it to play it again. And I was going to ask Flounder to get it for me this afternoon to play on the show. And so, but I Googled, there's like, if you Google the famous Winston Churchill Never Surrender speech, there's about 15 versions. There's one that's 12 minutes long and 5 minutes long. There's one that's 40 seconds long. And I was going to have Flounder play that. And I played it back, and I played it to myself on my phone a little while ago, and it's really not very good. It's great words, but his delivery is really bad. I mean, just kind of, I felt, and I was going to have you play it, and I thought, well, maybe they wouldn't really, I don't know, I felt bad about it. And so, and I can't read it properly.
Camera.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't his finest hour.
Maybe not his finest hour, but he was on the train. Mr. Churchill, we support you, sir, with Mr. Prime Minister.
Liar!
I know. Well, here's what the speech was. And again, if you Google it if you want. I mean, it's really an incredible speech, but the last 40 seconds, which I'll read for you here, really was delivered badly. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
Never surrender.
Never surrender. But again, he was saying, we shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall never surrender. I was kind of disappointed in this, but it's a beautiful
better in
speech.
The movies.
Yeah.
It's better in the movies. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, Winston Churchill, so there you go for the thing here. Also, a big day in Dunkirk. We'll get to that later on. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? 339, I'm sorry. Okay, now back to Mr. Phone, because I got another story here I put on my phone, because I didn't want to bother Flounder late in the day because he's got crap to do in there. Hold on a minute. Here we go. Check this out. Again, the more of this, the better. The more of this, the freaking better. James Comer is widening the Biden cover-up probe. House Oversight Committee Chairman Comer from Kentucky. The cover-up of Joe Biden's mental decline has got interviews he's seeking with 5 more White House aides. That's 10 now and growing. White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain, former Senior Communications Advisor Anita Dunn, former top advisors Michael Donnellan and Steve Richetti, and former Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy Bruce Reed. And he's investigating their role in the White House, usurping authority from Joe Biden and the ramifications of what that meant concerning his worsening mental and physical faculties. The committee's been investigating for nearly a year. They want to understand who made the decisions, who exercised the powers of the executive branch, possibly without even his knowledge or consent. And every letter detailed the reasons for each guy specifically. I won't read them all, but for example, Ron Klain, you served as chief of staff before departing the White House. You'd been former aide for more than 3 decades. You returned to the president's side in 2024 to aim his campaign, preparing for the debate with President Donald Trump. To claim, according to the interview, you cut short the debate prep due to the president's fatigue and lack of familiarity with the subject matter, and said the former president didn't really understand what his argument was on inflation. The scope of your responsibilities, official and otherwise, and personal interactions within the Oval Office cannot go without investigation. And he did the same thing to every freaking guy that he's got the letters out for. And again, the first step is the letter. The second step is a subpoena. And I hope to God that he's going to have to put the family under subpoenas as well. Now, and again, they've been, pardoned because they're all criminals, taking money under the table. But that doesn't mean they can't be investigated. That doesn't mean they can't be forced to testify. All it means is you can't charge them with a crime. But that doesn't mean you can't get them to testify. And if they don't testify in something else, if they refuse to testify, you can put them under contempt of Congress. Or if they perjure and won't, whatever. I'm just saying. Anyway, here. So they're still going on that. So I'm happy about that. All right, 340. Well, let's change it up a little bit. If you hear the phrase "crazy plane lady," I'll bet you're probably thinking of the same chick, Tiffany Gomez. Tiffany Gomez was the formerly so-called foul-mouthed Texas native who was kicked off an American Airlines flight after she was melting down for her behavior back in, July 2nd last year. She's now on the internet saying this: distressed or not, I should have been in control of my emotions, and that was not the case. Tiffany Gomez promoted her website now and is asking viewers to join her in promoting positive mental health and standing up against cyberbullying. She was a marketing executive. Tiffany Gomez kicked off the flight Dallas to Orlando. She accused another passenger of stealing her AirPods, and then bizarrely stated, quote, that that malefactor is not real. You can sit on this plane and you can farting die with them or not. I'm not going to. As the plane was taxiing, she demanded the crew stop this plane. The aircraft was brought back to the gate. She was thrown off. Then she refused to leave the boarding area, continued ranting outside the terminal. She swore at police, telling officers to get the fart out of my face. I'm changing words here. Insisted the plane was going to explode after takeoff. She said she wanted to take full accountability for my actions. Hi, everybody. It's me, Tiffany, probably better known as the Crazy Plane Lady, which is completely warranted. My use of profanity was completely unnecessary, and I want to apologize to everyone on that plane, especially those who had children aboard. By the way, she's wearing a low-cut top and lots of makeup. We all have our bad moments. Some are far worse than others, and mine happened to be caught on camera for the whole world to see multiple times. Sorry, y'all. I hope that I can use this experience and do a little good in the world, and that is what I intend to do. I hope you guys can accept my apology and I can begin to move on with my life. They actually only gave her a verbal criminal trespass notice by an airline manager, but she was never charged with anything. And again, she was saying that's a creature from outer space. That is not a real man. That is a creature
lizard person.
A lizard person. And she's hot. She's hot, and I don't think
that bikini.
Oh God,
she wore with the USA.
That's wrong in every way. You can't go around like that where people can see you. Sorry. Anyway, I mean, she's. I don't know whether she's still. I think she was married. I don't know if she's still married. I don't know what that might have led to. Anyway, whatever. She's now got a podcast or trying to make money her way. Well, that's good. Oh, and speaking of crazy chicks, how about Karine Vagine-Toitrin, the podium princess? She's gay, she's black, she's a girl. Her first announcement at the podium when she became President Slimebag Family Crime Wash Your Daughter's chief podium princess girl, her first announcement was that she is the first gay black female ever to hold the position. Well, aren't you special? Well, she has now left the Democratic Party and is writing a book. And she's writing a tell-all book, quote, about the broken administration she served. It's called Independent, a look inside a broken White House outside the party lines. Yeah. A promotional release hints she may focus her ire on figures aside from Biden in the account. She served both presidents, Obama and Biden. 3 weeks led to abandoning the bid for the second term. Betrayal by the Democrat Party of Joe Biden. Oh, what a bumbling idiot. She was unprepared. She was incompetent. She didn't know what she was talking about. She was a liar, cheap fakes. I mean, the whole thing. And now she says, oh, I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. Oh, I think the independents of America are now welcoming you aboard, Karine. I mean, what a joke. And now she's I'll be damned. She's coming out with a book. Ooh, golly. Oh, man.
Jake Tapper's book did not sell.
Nobody should buy it. For one thing, it's all been released on the internet. Every podcast is people talking about it. So what else do you need? I mean, if there were anything else that really an explosive secret, they'd be teasing it. Yeah, you haven't read anything yet, but nobody's really be able to or something. So I mean, there's no reason to buy that book. I mean, you don't need it. I mean, it's all crap. And hers now she was talk about being an insider. I assume that she was part of daily. White House office, Oval Office stuff all day. I mean, whether he was there or not. So she knows who was running what, I would think. Now, if she's going to spill the beans, we'll find out, I guess, when that starts being released. And I can't wait to see clips of her being interviewed on podcasts and on TV interviews and stuff and see what she looks like, what she says. What a joke. I mean, what a disgraceful.
They're going to pass her off as, some objective person.
Yeah. A new whistleblower. The real inside story. What a fakey freaking fraud. All right, 347. How you doing? I hate calling names, but sometimes you just got to give war a chance. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Look out.
Extra 106.3 is Atlanta's home for NASCAR. And we have live races every weekend from across the country. Check out extra1063.com for the full schedule and join us this weekend for live NASCAR action.
Kevin McAlpin here alongside Evan Ward, host of North Georgia's Retirement Game Plan, heard right here on Extra 106.3. And Evan, many Americans think having a well-funded 401k means they will have a comfortable retirement. But the question I have is that really all we need?
Kevin, that's a great question. The way the analogy I use is it's like having a really, really good play in your game, but a good play isn't a game plan. That'll work once. It's limited. What we want is a plan, a game plan throughout the entire course of your retirement that we know is set you up for success. 401ks are a great savings tool, but they're not a plan. They're a play. And so what we do is we put together an income plan as well as an investment plan to make sure that you are taking the stress out of your retirement. You've worked too long, too hard. You've made all the right decisions, sacrificed to get to this point. You've got it down to the 1 yard line. Now you need a game plan to finish it off, and that's what we provide.
And let's be honest, we stress for 30, 40 years in the workforce. That's the last thing you want to have to deal with when you get to retirement, right?
Of course, the whole point, our philosophy is let's take the stress out of retirement so that you know this new phase of your life is going to be the thing you've been working so long to enjoy.
That's the last thing you want when it comes to your retirement is stress. If it sounds like you, pick up the phone, call Evan and the team at Atlas Retirement today for a complimentary 401k x-ray. That number is 678-736-7799. 678-736-7799. Or get more details anytime online. It's atlasretirement.net. That's atlasretirement.net. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
The new era of Georgia Tech women's basketball starts now. Secure your spot in the Camas Pavilion to watch first-year head coach Karen Blair and the Yellow Jackets take on ACC opponents such as North Carolina, Louisville, and Notre Dame. Waves away a screen, a shake, a jump stop, a pull-up, good. Just outside the left block. That was smooth. Save your seat for all of the on-court action at ramblinwreck.com/tickets. Sting 'em.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
All right, hold on. Let's do that. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 351. And we got a new thing about AI coming up here in a second. So don't go anywhere. And I'm excited myself because I don't know what it is, but I'm already nervous. Let me get Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. In 1986, this was the day. The first of a 6-date Conspiracy of Hope tour at the Cow Palace, San Francisco. The benefits on behalf of Amnesty International, held to increase awareness on the 25th anniversary of their human rights thing. Show's headlined by U2, Sting, Bryan Adams, Peter Gabriel, as you're hearing, Lou Reed, Joan Baez, and the Neville Brothers. Again, 1986. All right, sir. Our birthday list includes Angelina Jolie. Well, she's been in the news a lot, not only settling the divorce with Brad Pitt over their winery in France, is it, I think, or something, and they talked about her having her breasts removed because she had the gene that causes breast cancer, so she had them removed so she wouldn't get cancer. And her birthday is today. Angelina Jolie is 50 years old. Does she still hate her father? Do they still just not get along? I
don't
really
think
hate
they
that.
talk anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a shame. Such a shame. 1940, on this day in history, Operation Dynamo. The German army advancing through northern France, early World War II, cutting off British troops from French allies, enormous evacuation of soldiers forced across the North Sea from the town of Dunkirk to England. The problem was they were trapped, encircled by the Krauts. British commanders considering withdrawing the entire British expeditionary force by sea. It was Operation Dynamo, evacuating Allied forces from Dunkirk, but there weren't enough ships. They were stranded on the beaches, and the British Admiralty called, anybody got a boat? Any British citizen with any kind of seaworthy vessel, a canoe, anything, please, we need your help. Hundreds, fishing boats, pleasure yachts, lifeboats, ferries, civilian ships of every size and type raced to Dunkirk, braving mines, bombs, torpedoes, and the ruthless airborne attacks of the Krauts of the German Luftwaffe. During the Dunkirk evacuation, the Royal Air Force resisted the Luftwaffe, saved the operation from failure. Still, the German fighters bombed the beach, destroyed all kinds of vessels and ships within miles of the English coast. The harbor of Dunkirk bombed out of use. Civilian vessels had to ferry all the soldiers from the beaches to the warships waiting out at sea. For 9 days they did it, a miracle to the Allied commanders and rank-and-file soldiers who had expected utter annihilation. On June 4th, when the Germans closed in, the operation came to an end. 338,000 soldiers were saved. The campaign became known as the Miracle of Dunkirk. 338,000 soldiers made it out in time because of civilians mostly. Yowie, 354. Okay, hold on. We got something special here, Flounder. We got a little. We have a sounder. Every time, almost every day, there's something about AI makes me nervous. And Pete now has got a new one, and I think I'm gonna get nervous again. What do you got there, sir?
You know how you get impatient while driving, and other cars cut you off or bump into your chopper?
Yeah, not me. No, I've never, known
drive too slow. No, bicyclists, pedestrians get in your way.
Well, they get them out of the way.
Curbs.
No, I would never.
Well, you're not alone.
No,
human. Driverless taxis are now starting to copy our traits of getting impatient while driving the streets of America.
Oh, God.
In other words, they're developing human-like behaviors, another sign of them becoming more intelligent. The chilling development identified by University of San Francisco engineering professor William Riggs, who's been studying Waymo cars since their inception. On a journey with a reporter from the San Francisco Chronicle, the two men noticed the Waymo they were traveling in crept to a rolling start at a pedestrian crossing before the human had reached the other footpath. It's time to go. This is unusual because the car is programmed to err on the side of caution and thus be more safe than any human driver. But the robo-taxis are constantly gathering new info and their algorithms are evolving. If another human-driven car cuts it off, the robo-car now not only hits its brakes, it also beeps its horn to show its displeasure at the other car.
Do they have like a picture of the middle finger next, I'm wondering? Or?
Well, I'm just like to say, they've yet to master your signature move. But here's my suggestion. At what point will it flash? Like, tell the front car in front of us to go blank themselves, and something will flash on your windshield or the back windshield saying, you're driving too slow, you're driving too fast, get off my ass. I mean, they could do that now. The windshield could light up with a sign.
Or it could have a row of lights on the back or something to blind the guy if he had his brights on, but
you
behind
can't
you.
Really do that. So the ride in these cars are getting faster, but it also is becoming more like us. They're making bad road decisions out of frustration and anger. Since 2021, how many crashes do you think Waymo cars have gotten into?
4.
Higher.
13.
Higher.
27.
Higher.
912.
696.
Wow.
Not all their fault. One accident actually killed a dog. It was off its leash, and it wasn't programmed at the time to deal with that. I don't know how they cannot program for a dog running out of your way.
Or any object coming in front of you, for that matter.
Right now, you can hail a Waymo in Phoenix, San Fran, and L.A. They're also coming to Austin, Miami, And Atlanta.
Oh, God. So
yeah.
I assume that the reason that they are now crowding people out of the sidewalk is because somehow they believe that their goal is to get the passenger there as quickly as possible.
Efficiently and safe as possible. Yeah.
But they're saying, well,
they've been
I can get away with
every single road sign, and people are getting upset because humans don't do that.
Yeah, right.
Humans, kind of cut corners.
Yeah, but at some point, this machine is telling itself, well, I got a couple seconds. I can, that guy's almost over. So, I mean, how is that possible? They cannot teach themselves. How you can't? I mean, I don't get how a machine can teach itself to be more like a human. Under whose guideline? I mean, what human is in there? What DNA of
Our
anything is? I mean, geez.
When we learn something, our brain makes a different neural link. Well, now they have neural links just made of silicon and plastic and metal.
So it can do the same thing as a human brain? We don't want that.
It finds a different path and it goes that way.
We don't want that.
The old way.
We don't want them to be human-like.
Elon Musk and Tesla also coming out with a robo-taxi. It is expected Waymo will surpass both Uber and Lyft cars by the end of this year.
Not me, baby. I'll never get... I can't believe it.
Think about this. If I could get up in the morning, crawl in the back seat of one of these cars and take a nap or eat or do show prep and wake up 2 hours later at the front of the radio station.
Yeah, I know.
How amazing would that be?
Well, have your own personal chauffeur, basically. You're a manservant who just takes care of you.
How much would it cost is a good thing.
Well, if you didn't have to buy a car, if you never had to buy another car. Or insurance, for that matter.
Well,
I suppose you have some kind of insurance policy.
Because younger kids today aren't getting cars, or they don't care about getting their driver's license.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because they're wussies.
Well, the whole world just turned,
Who doesn't like to drive? I love to drive, but I would do that at least once a week. I'd get in the
just
back
for the
and take a nap.
convenience.
Yeah. Well, if I hit the lottery, one of the first things I'm doing is putting a 6-speed transmission, a stick shift in my car. I hate that automatic crap.
If I win the lottery,
shifter.
the first thing I do after picking up the check is writing you to a check.
And then getting the hell out of Dodge.
And then saying you can come visit whenever you want.
But you're not getting another present either. This is it. Oh, man. Oh, my God. It's almost 4 o'clock. I owe you a Flounder's Funny coming up. Plus, we got tweets, and we got a game, and we got Flounder. It's all happening. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Look out. Here we go. Hey, guy. My goodness.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta's Safe House.
Ivy League school. Elisa Brady, Fox News. The U.S. Education Department is calling the accreditation of Columbia University into question, accusing the school of violating federal anti-discrimination laws and notifying the accreditor, in this case, the Middle States Commission on Higher Education, that Columbia may no longer be meeting its standards.
In the complaint, the Education Department says Columbia failed to protect Jewish students from harassment following the October 7th terror attacks in Israel and the war in Gaza. President Trump signed an executive order in April that requires the Education Department to notify accreditation agencies of any member institution determined to have violated federal laws.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Columbia has made changes to its policies on protests and security after the Trump administration previously accused the school of failing to protect Jewish students, canceling $400 million in federal grants. The Justice Department is suing Texas, trying to block a decades-old state law that allows college students without legal status in the U.S. to receive in-state tuition rates. More than 20 other states now have similar laws. A message of unity at the site of Sunday's fiery attack in Colorado.
Leaders and locals came to listen and speak, gathering on the same plaza in front of the Boulder County, Colorado courthouse, where an illegal alien shouting "Free Palestine" while torching Jewish marchers struck.
We are really hurting.
we are really angry and really sad.
Boulder Rabbi Mark Soloway and others spoke to remind people that the attack on Sunday was an attack against Jews, specifically by a man who hated Jews.
Fox's Evan Brown. The FBI says the number injured has risen to 15 people and a dog. The suspect remains jailed, facing state and federal charges. A mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow down 91 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
Summer is all about making memories, right? Backyard barbecues, road trips, maybe finally getting around to that hiking trail you've been eyeballing. But if you're living with pain, those future memories can be stolen from you. So here's a thought. Call 1-800-4RELIEF and try Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement designed to help your body fight pain. It's a doctor-developed formula made from natural ingredients. Best part? Relief Factor doesn't mask pain. It helps reduce or even eliminate it for good. Whether it's kayaking, running around with the little ones, or just chilling in a hammock, Relief Factor can help you feel better, move better, and do more of the things you love all summer long. So if you're ready to reclaim your summer, head over to ReliefFactor.com or give them a call at 1-800-4RELIEF. Do it now and get their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. That's 1-800-4RELIEF.
From Kinky D. What is that? Kiki, I think. Is this what this is? With Elton, of course. I like this song. Always have. Bum, bum, da, bum. Don't go breaking my heart, baby. 1985, Elton John became a high court battle with Dick James Music. He wanted the rights to early songs and recordings, plus damages estimated at more than $50 million. Elton John lost a 6-month court battle to recover the copyright to 169 songs. But the court did order Dick James to cough up millions in unpaid royalties. Elton John and Kiki D, I think that was with him, if I'm not mistaken. Our birthday list includes Russell Brand, 50 years old today. Famous English comedian and podcaster guy now, who I think he just embraced Christianity or something, I think, recently.
He's conservative now, but they're going after him because
And, who was he married? Was he married? It wasn't Katy Perry. Who was
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry, was it? Yeah. Oh, mercy. And on this day in history, June 4th, 1937, Sylvan Goldman, the owner of a Humpty Dumpty grocery store in Oklahoma City, begins using his brand new invention, the shopping cart. It was basically a folding chair with wheels and 2 baskets attached to it. The carts were a flop. Shoppers were reluctant to use them. Men said they were sissy, made me feel like a freaking girl and too effeminate. And women thought they were too much like a baby carriage. So, Mr. Goldman hired both male and female models to shop in the store like they were customers. Eventually, folding carts became extremely popular, and Goldman became a multi-millionaire by collecting a royalty on every freaking folding design shopping cart in America. He invented nested shopping carts, where the carts are pushed inside of each other for storage. Where you get the kid going, like 50 of them in the parking lot, and I always do this. Whenever there you are. And whenever I see one of those kids pushing one of those 50 shopping carts, I roll down my window. I say, "Hey, somebody else might want to use one of those."
Oh boy, you become your parents.
I know. It's like that commercial of the guy saying, "Whoa, out of towner, are you? Well, watch out for that intersection down there."
I always, when I get out of the car, I go to the rack and I grab a cart, because I used to do that. And I push the cart in. How much effort is that?
Yeah, I know.
And some people look at me like I'm crazy, especially in Atlanta, for doing that. Just put your damn cart, take a cart and take it in.
Yeah, I know. And again, I had to go to the store today, and I got one of my black carts. I got one of my black painted carts and not the aluminum ones, because that's what I like. So there. Anyway. And by the way, I just had a thought in my head. I had a sudden inspiration, Flounder, because of what you and Pete making fun of me. I realized that the place where I go to hit balls every once in a while is off of Holcomb Bridge Road. the way to get to this radio station from Alpharetta is one way is Holcomb Bridge Road to Alpharetta Highway, Main Street, and then south, and then the route I normally take. So it's conceivable that I could make time for myself to go hit balls before I come into work and just come right from the driving
not
range.
only that, at that time of the day, you could easily
11 o'clock in the morning.
You could get on 400 to 285.
Nah, I don't. Yeah, but
I know you'd rather take the back roads, but time-wise, you could get there pretty quickly.
On the other hand, you see how funny in the head I am. Today, I did it again. I go through the golf course, Indian Hills Country Club, the golf course. And
I do the same when I'm going home, and I actually got pulled over the other day in there.
For what?
Because I rolled through a stop sign.
Oh, I never. Yeah,
and the guy saw me, and he was like, "You know what? I pulled." I was like, "Yes, sir. I apologize for wasting your time." And he was like, "You're not wasting my time. Sit tight." And he came back and he gave me a warning.
Oh, man. Yeah, I always... In fact, I go the speed limit for most of that stuff is 25.
25. I mean, they have the
yeah, and I go 28. I mean, I go within 3 or 4, and that's it. Because, and again, I look at the scenery, and I think about the times, and I look at the golf course, and the golfers, and the wives walking their dogs. I mean, it's just, and it makes me feel better about, that I used to have a fun life like that. But it calms me down. I feel happy, and it's a fun thing, and that's what... I don't mind the interstate stuff, but honestly, it's a whole mental thing for me. I listen to the radio and just collect my thoughts, and it just makes me feel better as a human being to kind of, think about my kids and stuff like that. So that's why I do it. But I'm going to try to pull it off. I'm going to try to pull that off. One of these days. Yeah, sure. Hell, I'd ride my chopper to work, except it would set off every car alarm in the building. So I wouldn't be able to drive it in the parking garage.
I just want to say that it's segments like that are going to win us a gas.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder why the Kimmers are not in the Hall of Fame. The Kimmer? Never heard of him. I don't think we... No, I'm sorry. You mean broadcaster? No, there's no... 408. I know. I'm bad. I don't know what's going on. Am I totally unlistenable? I mean, are you guys trying to tell me that I should just stop doing this for a living?
No, the ratings are great. We're doing.
Are they? Okay. No one ever tells me anything. I don't know. Anyway, back more in the slime-bag Biden administration. Again, I hope. I mean, please forgive me, but you need to know this stuff. Here we go again. Department of Homeland Security today has now said they've caught in Massachusetts, an illegal criminal immigrant, a break-inner, charged with raping a child with force. And it was captured on video. A 30-year-old Guatemalan tied up and brutally sexually raped and assaulted a little girl in a video that was ultimately found by the girl's mother. He's on an ICE detainer. He first entered the United States illegally in 2017 and got arrested in Arlington, Virginia for drugs. He was ordered by a judge to be kicked out of the country in 2017, and he was, but he came back in 2022. Released into the country, he came back 5 years later after being removed for drug possession as a criminal after sneaking in the first place. So he sneaked in illegally, drug possession, crime, kicked out of the country. And when you're kicked out of the country, that's it. You're not allowed back in, ever. You do not get permission to come back if you've been deported. Well, he was deported in 2017. He came back in 2022, released by the Biden administration despite his criminal history and previous deportation. And so the DHS is now saying, no, wait a minute, this guy should never have even been allowed back in the United States. The detainer is aimed at ensuring he will not victimize anybody else. He's a freaking pedophile, illegal rapist from Guatemala who never should have been here at all. And President Biden, quote, despite his previous criminal charges and deportation, President Biden released this barbaric criminal into American communities in 2022. ICE has been active in Massachusetts in recent weeks. Operation Patriot has resulted in the arrest of 1,500 illegals, including murderers, rapists, drug traffickers, and child sex predators. Just in Massachusetts, 1,500. The last couple of weeks. And by the way, how is it all of a sudden possible that we have under the Biden administration, if you think about the numbers, we now in the world have more refugees coming to America than there were refugees in the world in World War II? In World War II, refugees by the thousands, fleeing Nazi Germany, fleeing the Europe, trying to come to America. There were thousands and thousands of them, but there weren't 15 million. And all of a sudden now in modern day, world history, all of a sudden in modern days, in the 20s, all of a sudden the Biden administration says, well, these are people who need amnesty. They need to be protection. 15 million of them. I mean, you dirty rotten. I mean, duh. There aren't that many refugees in the world who need to come to. I mean, my God. Anyway,
treason.
It is.
No other word for it.
It is. They did it deliberately, and every time that scumbag pus-stained Mayorkas said the border was secure, it made me want to throw up. He should be in prison. He deliberately allowed that to happen. Biden, FBI, all of them. Anyway. And here we go. A Chinese couple. You've heard of this yesterday and today. Big story. Chinese couple, University of Michigan, by the way, doctoral candidates, bringing in biological pathogens, which could ruin by the billions of dollars livestock, wheat, barley, maize, rice every single year, by the billions. It's a weapon of agro-terrorism. Pathogens hidden in her shoe at one earlier trip, and they've been doing it for a while. Apparently, this one girl had pledged her loyalty to the Communist Party of China, carried a pathogen in her shoe back in 2022, involved in smuggling packages of biological stuff on several occasions, has an associate in China mail her substances in a book with a plastic baggie that was hidden inside the cover somewhere. Got funding from the Chinese government, employed at a Chinese university, was her boyfriend as well. The toxin causes vomiting, liver damage, reproductive defects in humans and livestock. And by the way, China is the second largest country of origin for international students. These two are at University of Michigan, doctoral people. China has now, in America, more than 270,000 students from China. Just from China, more than 250,000 communist Chinese students in America. You think they're all just studying, economics and grammar, stuff like that, social studies? They're spies. And they've been told when they come here, by the way, we know where your family lives, so we'd appreciate a little information every once in a while. You don't think people working in the computer industry and neuroscience and technology of weapon systems and so forth have a little something back for the whole motherland? I mean, 250,000 Chinese students in America. I don't get any of this. 14 minutes after 4 o'clock. And by the way, the governor of Arizona, the girl governor, Katie Mushbrain, has now said, well, they tried, there was a bill, the legislature in Arizona passed a bill stopping ownership by the Chinese near military bases, and she vetoed it. She said, well, this isn't going to do anything. So she vetoed a bill that would stop the communist Chinese from owning property near military bases in Arizona. She said, oh, that's not a thing. Come on. God. Anyway, they didn't learn their lesson after the election, I guess. 4:15 already. How you doing? Kimmer, Pete, Flounder. Braves back tonight. Good try again tonight, boys. Here we go. Look out.
It's time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
For those of you who have actually been paying attention to some of my rants and raves over the years, you know that one of my great goals in life, expose the hideous danger that is government education. For the life of me, I can't understand why people so eagerly and willingly turn the most precious thing in their lives over to the government to be educated by government union employees. Have you ever heard of de-laning? New buzzword in government schools. We need to de-lane. Let's go to Palo Alto, California. Yuck, California. The Palo Alto government schools are de-laning. They are getting rid of all honors courses. Honors English is already gone, and starting this fall, students will no longer be able to take honors biology. The school board argues that de-laning, or removing different lanes for students based on achievement, will promote equity. One biology teacher said, well, we know that laning can lead to issues around students' belief in themselves. One 8th grader at the school board meeting got it right. Please don't hold students such as myself back from these wonderful opportunities to challenge ourselves and grow as individuals. This 8th grader obviously forgot that she was talking to government employees. One parent said, the school of thought seems to be that we need to have equity to reduce students' mental burden, so therefore let's make the curriculum easier and everybody can get an A. That's okay, parents. Every government school out there sucks except the one you send your kids to. Right? Yeah, right. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
The next big storm isn't a matter of if, it's when. Is your home ready? Southern Exteriors offers free inspections and dependable storm damage repairs with in-house warranties and honest service. Right now, get 10% off any job or 12 months, 0% financing. Hey, it's Tug, and I've met the team at Southern Exteriors. They do things the right way. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. It's 877-9-SOUTHERN or southernexteriors.co.
Yeah, it's almost Father's Day now. Not this weekend, but the next weekend. And, you know, sure, you could take Dad to brunch or something, or you can get him a safe at Atlanta Safe House. Seriously, think about this. Hey, man, they've got sales all over the place. Atlanta Safe House, you know, they have a showroom in Acworth. And, in fact, ladies or kids or whatever, for granddad or whatever, if you're in the area, Industrial Boulevard, check them out. They got like 200 of them almost right there. And they can change them on the inside for shelving units and nooks and crannies and all that stuff. Don't forget, gun safes, you do not have to pay any sales tax on any of the gun safes at Atlanta Safe House. And I found out the hard way when I didn't have my Atlanta Safe House safe down in Florida. I lost my medical records and I paid for it. So, you know, just be a little better than the Kimmer was. And don't forget, if you're taking a long summer vacation or you got an event or a convention or something coming up, you need to rent a safe, they can rent you a safe. And I'm telling you, great Father's Day gifts, those pistol safes, holy cow. All the great brands, all the top. And again, they'll never give out your master receipt code. They protect your rights as much as you can protect your stuff, thanks to Atlanta Safe House. Father's Day is coming up. Brunch is fine, but, you know, a safe would be really cool. Dad will love it. Tell him the Kimmer sent you on the web, atlantasafehouse.com.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's here to tell you about a new company that is changing the way people buy their next pre-owned car or truck. At The Honest Car Guy, they offer a completely transparent way to purchase a vehicle. You pay what he pays, plus a small, honest fee. You can choose any make or model. He will search the country for the best deal out there. He'll handle the paperwork, your trade-in, shipping, and even give you the bill of sale. Friends, I've done the research, and this is a buying process that you can trust. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1 or visit online at honestcarguy.com.
This is Bruce Hagan. The law in Georgia has changed, and if you have been injured in a car crash, it's going to be harder than ever to get insurance companies to treat you fairly. What you need is a real lawyer on your side, not some phony TV or billboard lawyer who doesn't even know how to get to the courthouse. I've been a Georgia super lawyer for 20 straight years, and we try cases and we win. We get results for our clients. Call me, get in touch, hagan-law.com. We are real lawyers who will win your personal injury case.
This might have been the other song by Police I was trying to think of that time when I couldn't remember a couple of their songs I like. This might be Every Breath You Take, Police. Big time this day, 1983. Started the 4-week run at number one with this song in Britain. The group's fifth and final number one single in 1983 from the band's album Synchronicity. Sting won Song of the Year, and The Police won Best Pop Performance for the song at the 84 Grammys. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I like this song. Cameron Payton Flounder. Yeah, let's see. Birthday list includes Bruce Dern. Bruce Dern is 89. And I was, and in fact, I was trying to everybody knows who he is, but I couldn't think of one single thing he was in except for a couple recently. But Bruce Dern, known for the movies, among 100 of them, Coming Home, Hang 'em High. He was in The Cowboys, a movie, and his character killed John Wayne.
Shot him in the back.
Yeah. Django Unchained. I mean, Bruce Dern, father of that little communist, Laura.
Silent Running.
Yeah. Bruce Dern, he's been in a million. He's 89 years old. Good for him. Anyway, let's see. And our history list, and then we got a little sum here for you. On this day in 2003, Martha Stewart is indicted for securities fraud and obstruction of justice. The domestic guru, Martha Stewart, known for her good things, her tips and tricks, turned very bad when a federal grand jury serves her and her former stockbroker 9-count indictment. Obstruction of justice, securities fraud, conspiracy, false statements. A former Merrill Lynch broker handed indictments after the investigation of Imclone Systems stock sales. 61 years old, Stewart resigned almost immediately from her board position on her company. They pleaded not guilty. She was tipped off that the Imclone stock was going to drop after the Food and Drug Administration had a thing about application for cancer drugs, whatever. So she shed 4,000 shares worth $250,000 the day before the decision came out. So they said, insider trading. She got convicted and sentenced, guilty of 4 to 5 counts, sentenced new trial, federal prison. Sentenced to 5 months in West Virginia, minimum security, and she served it out in 2004, then house arrest, and they loved her in prison. She was, giving tips to the girls, and they all had a wonderful time together. They said she was terrific, co-prisoner, and apparently they had a great time in jail, and she just came out none the worse for wear. Of course, 5 months, at minimum security is not exactly, the rock. Anyway, 424, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3, 404-741-1230 is our number if you want to hop in here. And then coming up, here we go, trannies and softball again. Good grief. But first of all, and changing the Navy ship. First, we'll something we call Pete's Tweets.
I won't say who sent this. You know who you are.
All right, sir.
The first thing a man looks at in a woman is her heart.
All right, sir. In that area, I'm sure.
The fact that her breasts are in front of her heart is not our fault.
Well, now there you go.
The Washington Post headline reads, "The mysterious drop in fentanyl seizures on the U.S.-Mexico border."
Yeah, mystery.
To which the fat electrician responds, "And I'll clean this up.
Yeah.
My neighbor's dog used to crap in my yard all the time. I had a fence put in, and around that same time, I saw a huge drop in the amount of dog crap in my yard. I'm not sure why, but I'm sure it's very nuanced and a complex issue."
I mean, the nerve. Did they ever correct that? Did they ever come out and say, I think they didn't come out with a correction of some guy.
How can an editor do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Knowing it's a lot. How stupid do they think their readers are?
The Washington Post.
That's how stupid and cynical they are.
Good
anyway, Joe Rogan Podcast News tweets a pic of Joe Rogan saying, "I've been drinking lots of water." And underneath, they post a pic of CNN propagandist Brian Stelter saying, "Joe Rogan promotes ingesting liquid commonly used as engine coolant." Well, it's Pride Month. I'm proud of being an American.
Well, me too.
Toronto's oldest gay bookstore just held an event in which drag queens romanticize Hamas, an organization that would use them as rooftop gravity inspectors should they go to Gaza. Which, I'm sorry, actually, that's not true. I apologize to the good people of Hamas. There are no rooftops left in Gaza.
I'm sorry.
You weren't paying attention.
I know.
You
well,
weren't
she
paying
came
attention.
by. She looked so
the
pretty.
Show there.
I even talked to her. I told her hair looked so beautiful today because she had it all out and full and everything. She blew me a kiss, and I got to acknowledge it. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be offensive in any way, but I got to take care of the girls at work.
All right.
And by the way, Princess has already yelled at me because I didn't bring any cookies in the last 2 days. So I got to bring some freaking cookies in here. Maybe Friday. I'll do it Friday.
Did you know the main function of your little toe?
Yeah, no, it's to balance, I think. Balance out
is to make sure all the furniture in the house is in place.
By the way, how come that hurts so much?
Oh, here's what I did yesterday. I'm getting in the shower, and I didn't lift my foot enough, and I dragged all 5 toes across that metal thing at the bottom of the shower.
Oh, no. Oh, the little bar. Oh, no. That can't be good.
That's just laziness right there.
Oh, that can't
Not
be
lifting
good.
your foot up.
Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? 426 already. Holy cow. And back, here we go, and more back in the news again. This is unbelievable. Minnesota. We talked about in Massachusetts hiding illegal rapists and murderers and so forth. They just rounded up 1,500 of them. And the other issue that's going on with liberal states is the tranny issue. And here we go again, the issue of tranny in high school softball. The state of Minnesota High School League state softball tournament is underway, and at one pitcher, his name is Marissa Rothenberger. He's a trans-identifying male athlete who is pretending to be a girl, and he threw a complete game shutout against the number 2 ranked team, 5-0. He struck out 4, no runs. His participation in girls sports, growing trend. He threw 14 shutout innings, back-to-back games to go to the state tournament. 2 parents requested anonymity, are in the stand with shirts saying "Save Our Girls Sports." She said, one mother said, "I'm pretty disappointed. This is frustrating. I think we've seen this happen over and over to our girls. You look online, you see women transitioning to men, and they're not dominating any of the men's sports. You don't see that, but on the women's side, you see it over and over again across the country. It's super frustrating. I knew it was eventually going to happen to my daughter. I hate to see it." Her point is well taken. Think about this. How many girls want to be boys, but you don't see them trying to play boys football or baseball or soccer or any other freaking thing there. So what the hell?
They know better. They're not narcissistic freaks like the boys are.
Anyway,
and the parents should be ashamed by raising that freak and letting it put in his head that he's so special that he can beat up on girls.
And by the way, I've not seen any video of this guy. But a father of one of the other girls said, as a father, it's a violation of federal law. This Minnesota's doing that to ignore it. It's outrageous. If they want to continue playing sports, which is great, then play baseball or do things where have some another league. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can get around this. But again, and when you saw that guy the other day, the video we talked about, the guy who won 2 of 3 long jump and track and field events, and when he got up to the podium, he was doing all that swishy, sissy stuff with his hands and going,
girls don't do.
He's acting. He's pretending to be a sissy. Women don't act like that. When's the last girl? When is the last girl you actually saw like that?
It's learned and effective behavior.
It's acting.
Basically what it is. Yeah, it's acting.
That's
and they're freaks. They're tranny freaks. Yeah. They're trying to destroy the nuclear family. They're trying to destroy society. Basically what they're doing. Their parents are enabling them. The officials in Minnesota and California are enabling them. Their laws are on the books. Prosecute them.
And again, you have a right to live, and I feel bad for him. I don't have anything personally against training.
Anymore.
I feel bad for
the regular ones, not the ones doing this.
Yeah, right. Not the outrageous, trying to give me and like it whether you like it or not. Accept me, But it's just, you can't, you have to have a separate league of some kind. It's not fair for anybody, especially what about taking care of our little girls? What does this do to a little girl who sees this when she's 4, 5, 6, 7 years old? Because we never saw that when I was growing up. There was no such thing.
No.
All of a sudden, every little girl who probably already has a cell phone and knows all about trannies and all this other stuff, they talk about it in school. The teachers refer to it. It's all over the place. How is now a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old girl supposed to grow up who wants to be athletic and is by nature tends to be an athletic young girl, playful, active, like that? And what are they supposed to do? How are they supposed to feel when they know that a boy's going to take their place?
Well, they're going to be told, too.
From the beginning.
Oh, really? You have these feelings?
Oh,
well,
you're
maybe
not.
you're trans, too. You
Good
can't be
Lord.
just a girl now. You're not a tomboy.
What are we doing to
you're
our
trans.
little girls?
It's
These are
teachers and the parents and the teachers doing it. And it's social media. And it's a hockey stick graph, how it went from little, and all of a sudden it's exploded in the last 5 years.
You know what? Yesterday, about 2 or 3 days ago at the Publix, I was in the aisle and a woman came in with a couple of kids, including one little girl who couldn't have been more than 3, who was pushing her own miniature baby cart. Mm-hmm. And I looked at that woman, and she's a little daughter's pushing her little baby cart with her mother in the grocery store, stuff like that. And I looked at that woman, and I said, that's one of the sweetest things I've ever seen. And I'm feeling so much right now by my 2 little daughters, reminding me of what it's like as little girls. And I said, Madam, I'm going to tell you now, my daughters are 53 and 50 years old this year, and they grow up really fast. But I saw that little girl with her little buggy, and she was just as sweet. And she was, shopping and doing all the things like Mommy, and I thought, my God,
that was a great pickup line until you hit her with the 50-year-old dog line. You should have stopped
there was
there.
No, there was no. I've given up. I don't even. I said no. Just you go ahead and Of course now, and then I take off my hat. As old as I am, it doesn't really matter, does it? So I don't even. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for them. 4:32, Kevin, Pete, and Flounder, and there's so much more. I guess probably. I'm promising. Look out.
Start your day with Tug and Los on the Morning Extra from 6 to 10. Then it's Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck at noon, and the Kimmer Show on your ride home from 3 to 6. And hang out every night for Jesse Kelly at 6 and Jimmy Fela at 9. And stream it all live in crystal clear HD on the Extra 106.3 app.
So you're getting that landscaping ready for the summertime weather? Well, don't forget Stovall and Company, who builders and landscapers and stuff. They are your wholesale landscaper supply folks. Paul Stovall and the boys been doing this. It's like a 3-generation family, 75 years or something. Their new 11th location in Canton. All the boulders and stones and bricks and sod and grass and trees and flowers and plants. I mean, they've got it all. And don't forget, they will. If they think you can get something better that you really need special and they don't have it, they can tell you where else to find it. I'm telling you, you'll love these folks, Stovall and Company. And if you need it fast, it's probably already on the way. On the web, StovallInc.com.
It's that time of year again. Chuck, the owner of Central Heating and Air Conditioning, is bringing back the 5th annual Christmas in July benefiting Skyland Trail, a nonprofit leading the way in mental health wellness right here in Atlanta. Skyland Trail provides expert, evidence-based treatment to help people facing mental health challenges find a path to recovery. Central Heating and Air Conditioning is proud to support this mission. As one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta, Central knows what it means to give back. Here's how you can help. Just sign up for a maintenance agreement with Central Heating and Air Conditioning, and $10 from every new agreement will go directly to Skyland Trail, providing life-changing mental health care for adults and teenagers. Central services all makes and models, and with them, you're never just a number, you're part of the family. Call 770-GET-HEAT or visit centralheat.com to sign up and help Central Heating and Air Conditioning give back. Carrier products, carrier warranty, carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
There are nut jobs on the road. Who knows where they learn to drive? If one of them hits you, don't take care of it on your own. Call my friend David Van Sant, 855-GA-INJURY. Van Sant Law, one of Georgia's top-rated personal injury lawyers and car accident firms. Time is of the essence. Don't waste any. The longer you wait to get the right lawyer, the longer it takes to get the compensation you deserve. Call Van Sant Law today. The number is 855-GA-INJURY. VanSantLaw.com.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for True Prep. True Prep, Atlanta's preparedness superstore, is not only the go-to location for security and preparedness, it's also the hotspot for incredible savings. Visit True Prep's new deals page to discover hot sales and clearance items on firearms, prepping gear, and more. Then, check out the used and consignment page for top quality guns and gear at unbeatable prices. Both pages update automatically throughout the day as new products are added. So check back often to snag the best offers. Check them out now at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com.
When you enter the financial red zone, it's time to start rethinking your financial strategies and protecting what you've built. Coach Pete, what should we consider in the financial red zone?
As we enter that financial red zone, which is over age 50, we must have some money put aside aside that's going to give us a guaranteed lifetime income. Without income, you don't have a retirement. Now, you get your Social Security, so work on maximizing that, but then you've got money in 401ks, 403bs, TSPs, IRAs, anywhere you have money, and it's a nice lump sum. But we need to figure out how much income you can get from the lump sum you have that's guaranteed for life. That takes all the worry out of it in retirement. If you already know you've already got the money put aside, you don't have to get a checkbook out. The money's already there. Just make sure it's in the right place to give you and your family that lifetime income you can never outlive.
For a comprehensive and customized retirement review, call Coach Pete's local trusted advisor, Craig Chandler of Chandler Wealth Management. 800-419-6164. 800-419-6164.
Extra 106.3 personalities aren't afraid to tell it like it is.
Without Donald Trump, nothing that's going on would be happening right now. Donald Trump is changing the world.
And you'll never hear us spew that violent rhetoric from the left. So don't be afraid to tell it like it is. Because we're happy to have you as part of the Extra community.
I particularly like Donald Trump's actions in getting illegal aliens the hell out of this country.
Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
I got a question. Why are we even allowing Chinese students to come to America anymore? Any of them, ever. I mean, should we just stop? Can we trust the communist Chinese sending students over here? Just, I don't mean kindergartners, but I mean, well, them too. Train them as spies.
Yeah, Red Menace.
Yeah. We've heard of this.
Sorry, my little yellow friend.
Kimmer, Peter, and Philander. Remember, Cato, attack me at any time.
That was not the time.
1977, the Jam debut single In the City made number 40 in Britain and went on to score 18 consecutive top 40 singles in the United Kingdom from their debut in 1977 to their breakup in 1982. The Jam had 4 number 1 hits and 18 consecutive top 40s. The Jam. All right, sir. Phone calls taking priority. Stratocaster Joe, you on the radio, man. How's it going? What's up?
It's going good, Kimmer. I was just going to add in and mention that that Operation Dynamo with
Dunkirk.
The British civilian boats evacuating the Dunkirk people there was pretty well chronicled in the movie 1942 movie Mrs. Miniver with Greer Garson and Walter
Oh
Pigeon.
my Lord! I don't think I ever saw it, but I remember Greer Garson. Oh my goodness! And Mrs. Miniver. I remember that. I remember the title and the thing. I'll be darned.
It was pretty well shot. With they had their own boat and they went over to Dunkirk and picked up some people and brought them back.
Can you? I mean, think about that. Back in that time, 338,000 soldiers had to be rescued, and it was done by civilians who came over there in everything from canoes to rafts. I mean, it was unbelievable. What an effort.
It's some very, very good scenes in that movie with lots of boats going across and lots of boats bringing them back.
It's Mrs. Miniver. What was the official title?
Mrs. Miniver is the name of the movie, 1942.
All right. Hey, thanks, man. Good to talk. Stratocaster Joe. There you go. Supper 5, my friend, for 439. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Our birthday list includes, let's see. Well, let's El DeBarge. El DeBarge is a singer, and the only song I remember from him is I Wonder Who's Holding Donna Now. What a sad song. Guy's heartbroken because someone's got his girlfriend. Yeah, tell me about it. So I stopped listening to that one day. Anyway, and our history list includes, on this day in 1972, communist activist Angela Davis is acquitted. The black commie philosophy professor at University of California in LA, UCLA, acquitted on charges of conspiracy, murder, and kidnapping in San Jose, California. She was arrested in 1970 in New York, a shootout that occurred in a California courtroom. She was supplied the weapons to Jonathan Jackson, who burst into the court in a bid to free inmates on trial, take hostages he wanted to exchange for his brother, a black radical who was at San Quentin. Shootout with police. Jonathan Jackson was killed along with a judge and 2 inmates. Angela Davis championed his cause. She was indicted but went into hiding. one of the FBI's most wanted criminals, apprehended 2 months later. Her trial began with international attention because of the case, obvious political nature. She was found innocent of all charges. Angela Davis went back to teaching and writing in 1980, vice presidential candidate for a while, the Communist Party, professor at University of California, Santa Cruz. Let's see here. A lot of writings, speaking out about the death penalty, stuff like that. Anyway, so she was found innocent. And that was one scary commie, I'll tell you. Back in those days, in that period of time, I remember, and they were scary. I mean, they were scary.
Yes. She spoke at Kennesaw State a few years ago.
Yeah, she's still right. I think she's calmed down quite a bit, but she was,
she has.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't watch her. Oh, by the way, I thought this was kind of cool. And again, think about it. And here we go. And he's going to, I really haven't seen much reaction to the fact that our Department of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth wants to get rid of the name Harvey Milk on a warship for the United States Navy. Pete Hegseth has ordered the renaming of the ship named after the San Francisco gay rights activist Harvey Milk. Military Times reports the official at the department said, yes, the timing of the announcement during Pride Week, Pride Month was intentional. And the Department of the Navy under the Department of Defense is now making sure that their priorities are reestablishing the warrior culture, unquote. Hegseth is committed to ensuring the names attached to all Department of Defense installations and assets are reflective of the Commander-in-Chief's priorities, our nation's history, and the war ethos. Harvey Milk was in San Francisco. And he was one of the first openly gay elected officials in the United States, elected to public office in San Francisco in 1977. He was in the Navy in 1951, but they kicked him out because of his sexual orientation, and he was murdered. And I remember when I was in San Francisco in 1980 for a couple of years, and I remember the guy who killed him, as I recall, was the Twinkie defense. The guy who killed Harvey, what's his name there? Harvey Milk. Dan, yeah. Okay. What? Oh, my God, if you had said, I would have had it. And his defense was that he was high on sugar from eating all those Twinkies, and he got freaked out, and he killed him. And he got convicted and sentenced, and I think he killed himself, if I'm not mistaken. I think he got out of prison and then killed himself. So the whole thing was just appalling. Anyway, 443. I wonder whether the Democrats are going to start liking Elon Musk again. Elon Musk, have you heard what he said lately? And by the way, I think this is kind of he's got the right to do it, and I guess they knew it was coming, so, he's a big boy. Elon Musk has a scathing rebuke of the one big beautiful bill that they've been voting on in Congress and the House, and the Senate's taking it up. This immense level of overspending will drive America into debt slavery. Interest payments already consume 25% of all government revenue. If the massive deficit spending continues, there will only be money for interest payments and nothing else. No Social Security, no medical, no defense, nothing. He said, I'm sorry, I can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it, said Elon Musk. Well, the White House says, we know there's really not much they can say other than they say you're wrong. We believe you're wrong. And we just have somebody's going to be right or wrong at the end of this, and we'll find out what tariffs are going to make a difference in the tax spending and everything. And we'll see.
This is the difference between our side and their side. Our side actually has debates among each other. We have disagreements sometimes, and we say it in public. Yeah. And we actually logically debate something and say, this is not right or this is right. Their side, like communists do, march lockstep, arm in arm, getting the word from on high, how they should think and what they should say, the DNC facts every day, and they just all get behind each other like lemmings, like a herd, where our side actually has individuals thinking and can have disagreements every now and then.
Yeah. Well, they have to have their code words like oligarchy. They come out with the same word, every single one of them in lockstep. Good grief. 4:45. I found. Do we have that little that sound of the Democrats complaining about the Republic? In fact, speaking of Elon Musk, they loved Elon Musk, then they hated him because he was with Trump. I wonder whether they're going to like him again. But here's another little montage for your enjoyment of Democrats complaining about the big bill and Republican policies in Congress these days. Flounder. Easy. Why? Why are they?
I'm scared to go to sleep. I might wake up a way. He just called the results. It sucks being hated by so many people.
I'm with you. I can't do this anymore. I'm literally sick. I'm literally sick to my stomach. What has happened to America? What has happened to democracy?
This is all pretty great. Like we're just gonna wake up tomorrow morning and everything's gonna go back to the way it'll be a psych. It'll be like a really bad dream. I was just walking down the street to go get my medication because I'm out and I need it for today. And I saw a woman walking her 2 kids, and she had this look on her face. And I looked at her, we made eye contact, we both kind of nodded. Like we were both
idiots.
Just devastated.
It just makes me laugh. These are real people. Holy cow.
No, really.
Oh, can you imagine their lives? Oh, and you're doing it to yourselves. Oh, my, all right, 446. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Get off thing. Oh, mercy. Only Grabbing Sports coming up. We got a game, and we got all kinds of good stuff here with Kimber, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3 right here.
Illegal border crossings are down 87%, and Army recruitment hits a 15-year high. So tell us again what's wrong with America? Yeah, exactly. Get it right with Atlanta's only conservative voice, Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
It's time to slide into summer at Truist Park as the Arizona Diamondbacks face the Braves, June 3rd through the 5th. And May and the A deals are extended through this series as well. That means $10 tickets and parking, $1.99 hot dogs, and $3.99 Miller High Life. Grab your crew and head to Truist Park to make the most of your summer. Find all the details for the month of June and purchase your tickets at Braves.com/summer. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Got a to-do list a mile long? No problem. We've got the ultimate solution, our Handyman for a Day program. Here's how it works. You get a skilled handyman dedicated to knocking out your honey-do list. Paint touch-ups, drywall repairs, door adjustments, and much more, all done in one day. You want to jump into spring and not worry about your home? Call us now before the rush for your Handyman for a Day and call us at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. One call, one handyman, one day. The Trusted Toolbox.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We are a family-owned, operated, independent local company. We have over 15 years of artificial grass design, installation, and sales experience. From premium artificial lawns and backyards, custom putting greens, sports fields, hardscape, drainage, we do both residential and commercial. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see "Get a phone on us," get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 24-month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
All right, look out now. Hey, I wonder how our winner of the tickets liked the Metallica concert. If he's listening, give us a buzz. I'd love to know how you liked it. Was it good? How about was the sound venue good and all that kind of stuff? Just kind of curious. You guys got a little something going on here now. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder with the Sex Pistols. And by the way, Flounder is our musical director. On your sheet, I have a 3-line thing about the Sex Pistols, but as it turns out, I actually, on my own, as part of my history thing today, looked up on this date in history, and the Sex Pistols has a whole thing here. And if you don't mind, I'll read some of this because apparently we have heavy metal fans. On this day in 1976, it was the gig that changed the world. That's what they're calling it. Sex Pistols at the Lesser Free Trade Hall in Manchester, England. The Sex Pistols were playing under that name for only 7 months. Their nihilistic attitude already in place. The entire British punk scene a few months away from breaking out. They had some attention in the music press. 2 young men from Manchester named Howard Devoto and Pete Shelley saw them in London. Devoto and Shelley arranged for them to come north and play for the Trade Hall. They formed their own band called the Buzzcocks. Word of mouth spread. 40 people showed up in a room that could hold hundreds, but that shaped what would be happening later. They would enjoy popularity. Okay, Ian Curtis, Bernard Summer, and Peter Hook. The next day, Hook would buy his first guitar. The 3 young guys would become a band called the Stiff Kittens and later Joy Division. Mark Smith, after the Sex Pistols gig, he started The Fall. Punk rock band, never had a true hit record, but influenced followers from Nirvana to Franz Ferdinand. Stephen Patrick Morrissey, last of the notables, make a name for himself as a leader of the Smiths. Tony Wilson, Manchester TV news presenter, inspired to start the record label Factory Records, which was huge in the scene in the 80s and 90s. A few days after the Sex Pistols stormed Manchester in 1976, they did other gigs with brand new bands, opening acts, The Clash, The Damned, and unofficially, the punk era opened because of the Sex Pistols, the gig that changed the world. Our birthday list, 453, I can't believe it. Our birthday list includes Una Chaplin. Una Chaplin is 30. Oh, my God, I had a girlfriend named Una, a Korean girl. Oh, God, was she sweet. Anyway, she spoke 4 languages. Oh, sorry. Una Chaplin, 39 years old. Rob Stark's wife on Game of Thrones. She also is the granddaughter of Charlie Chaplin. Yeah. And Una Chaplin, at 39, has a lead role in the next 3 Avatar movies. So there you go.
Oh, there's 3 more Avatar movies? Yeah. The first one sucked.
I didn't watch any of that. When I heard it was about...
It's beautiful, but it's just crap.
Well, wasn't it all anti-military? Aren't they Marines that were supposed to be traitors or something? Yeah, I mean,
white people bad. Natives are good.
I don't think so.
It's this old trope over and over again.
I know. It's wrong in every way. Michael Rappaport's back in the news. Michael Rappaport is the actor who has become extremely active in political causes from a conservative side. And he's one of the guys, he's getting blasted, of course, for being a celebrity and Hollywood type guy, but he's standing up for himself and he's doing it again. And he's got a message. And again, I've been saying it, and we've all been saying it, but I've been called a lot of names for it, for saying I can't believe why you Jewish voters are still voting for Democrats. What's the matter with you? Michael Rappaport warns Jewish people the cavalry ain't coming. He's an outspoken critic since Hamas launched the deadly terrorist attack in 2023. He said, Michael Rappaport, the comedian and now podcaster guy, actor, says he feels like a sucker for advocating for other marginalized communities that suffered atrocities while the Jewish population remains vulnerable against an influx of violent extremists. I'll tell you something, he says, Jewish people, the cavalry ain't coming. The cavalry's not coming for us. They don't give a fart. Change the word there. After the Somalian Egyptian guy living in the U.S. illegally, Molotov cocktails, stuff like that, Rappaport says it's sad and frustrating that the public has remained silent in the wake of the horrific acts of terror, urging members of the Jewish faith to stay alert and protect yourselves because help ain't coming. Don't you feel like an ass blank now for putting up black squares during Black Lives Matter when nobody's coming and saying anything on our behalf? Remember the social viral movement of 5 years ago? A million spoke out about injustice by putting the death of George Floyd, by putting that stupid black square on your stupid phone or whatever the hell it was. And he says nobody's coming and saying anything on our behalf. The Jewish people, Zionist people, they're not calling, they're not texting, they're not tweeting, they're not leaving comments, they're not DMing, they're not doing shark. It's sad, it's frustrating. You feel used, you feel manipulated, you feel like a sucker. I feel like it too. Hey, yeah, pretty powerful.
Self-hating.
I still don't get it. I mean,
because they've been indoctrinated since kindergarten and home to hate themselves, hate their skin, hate their culture, hate everything about themselves.
It's such a shame. You know what? I'm going to do this story, and again, I urge you not to listen. It's 4:56. I say don't listen for about a minute and a half, and then turn in back again right before 5 o'clock. The state of Washington, Travis Decker's on the loose, 32 years old, former Army soldier, extensive training. This is the story of the mother of 3 children, and this is her ex-husband. He's homeless, lives in his car in the state of Washington, out in the middle of nowhere, and the mother allowed her 3 daughters, their 3 daughters, to visit Daddy for a planned visit, and then they disappeared. The girls, aged 9, 8, and 5, were sent to be with him, and they all disappeared. They found his car, and then they found the girls. The girls were all dead. The girls, aged 9, 8, and 5, had their hands tied with zip ties and bags over their heads. He suffocated them. They found him near his car. Died from asphyxiation. Jeez, I can't even say it. 4:57. I don't have words. The human race, how is it possible? He apparently was off his meds. I mean, and again, how could he? I don't believe anything about it. It's just horrible. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. And I'm a father of 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters. I can't imagine. I can't struggle. Oh, God. 4:57. All right, hold on. Coming down. We got a game to play. Oh, also, why you should not break in and steal stuff belonging to the family of John Gotti in New York. There could be a lesson there when they say, I want my stuff back. Also, Trevor Bauer's in the news. Holy crap, sports is coming up. How about a Flounders Funny here as we bring a little levity into the mix before our 5
I've learned 2 things about Gen Z. They're depressed. We've established that. And they hate the government.
Yes.
Right? They're suicidal, and they hate America. And I'm like, you know what? This is the perfect generation to introduce them to Islam. Do you know what I'm saying? Not too much? Did I cross the line already?
Too much.
I won't talk about the one true religion anymore if you guys don't want me to. I will move on.
Who's that there, Flounder? Oh, did Flounder?
Let's see. Duwad Nimyar.
That'd be bad. 4:59 on 106.3. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Another game for the Braves tonight, and then you have a day game tomorrow. On this day in history, 1990, Jack Kevorkian uses his suicide machine for the first time. A woman was suffering and gave herself the injection by pushing a button. The suicide doctor helped 130 patients to their deaths, got convicted of murder, sentenced to prison, went there for 8 years and got out. Kevorkian, this day, 1990. And again, the issue of helping, what a day. All right, we're going to wrap up that entire segment. And now the happiness begins. I owe you another Flounders Funny coming up shortly, and we have a game and holy crap, it's sports and some fun newsy stuff and going after the Bidens. And we got it all here. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3. So off we go. Stand by.
Morning Extra. Every weekday morning from 6 to 10 on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta on Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
A legal fight over a suspect's family. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A day after the wife and 5 children of the Boulder attack suspect were detained by immigration officials, a federal judge is blocking their deportation, at least for now. No family members have been charged, but the Homeland Security Secretary has said they're investigating what, if anything, the family knew about Sunday's Molotov cocktail attack. The FBI confirming more injuries today, 15 people in all and a dog. The suspect, charged with state and federal counts, is an Egyptian national who overstayed a visa. Earlier today, Colorado Governor Jared Polis, alongside faith and community leaders.
We will not be silenced or scared. We will not let the demons of hate define us.
Visiting the attack site in Boulder. Democrats in Congress pouncing on a new estimate showing a House-passed budget package would increase the deficit and leave millions more Americans uninsured.
The Republicans' big, ugly bill is going to cause unnecessary death.
California Congressman Ted Lieu, the White House criticizing assumptions made by the Congressional Budget Office. Some Republicans want more spending cuts. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul telling Fox Business,
I want to vote for the big but not yet beautiful bill, but it's got to freshen up a bit. We're looking for a little bit of makeup here and there.
He also says raising the debt limit, which is part of the House package, should be proposed separately. The president joining one Democrat's call for lawmakers to scrap the debt limit.
President Trump says he finally agrees with Senator Elizabeth Warren that the U.S. debt limit should be entirely scrapped to prevent an economic catastrophe. The one big, beautiful bill passed by the House increases the borrowing limit by $4 trillion. A Senate proposal would increase it by $5 trillion. Breaching the debt limit would mean the U.S. is unable to borrow money needed to pay for existing expenses.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. America is listening to Fox News.
Summer is all about making memories, right? Backyard barbecues, road trips, maybe finally getting around to that hiking trail you've been eyeballing. But if you're living with pain, those future memories can be stolen from you. So here's a thought. Call 1-800-4RELIEF and try Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement designed to help your body fight pain. It's a doctor-developed formula made from natural ingredients. Best part? Relief Factor doesn't mask pain. It helps reduce or even eliminate it for good. Whether it's kayaking, running around with the little ones, or just chilling in a hammock, Relief Factor can help you feel better, move better, and do more of the things you love all summer long. So if you're ready to reclaim your summer, head over to ReliefFactor.com or give them a call at 1-800-4RELIEF. Do it now and get their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
So let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a plank. Lights on bikes. Road guards out. Stand by. It's only me. It's only the Kivers Silly 503 with Pete Davis and Flounder at the controls on your hump day. Braves try again tonight against Arizona, and we'll see. Hoping for good things, and it's still hopefully a long season. I'm not nervous about the outcome of the Braves season at this point. We'll see. Life is good. Kevin Pete and Flounder. Here's number 404-741-1230, 741-1230. I owe you a Flounder's Funny. We'll have to get one of those. And we also have a game coming up here shortly, and Holy Crap at Sports here shortly. A lot of sports stuff. And also, I mentioned this story about the Gotti family. Just out of curiosity, going to bring you up to date here. This is something you may want to think twice about before you do something like this. Apparently, John and Frankie Gotti are grandsons of the late Teflon Don John Gotti. They have been hit with third-degree attempted assault and harassment charges by the police because they confronted a robber named Gino Gabrielli, who happens to be the brother of John's wife, Eleanor. And what happened was, the funny part of this says, the lawyer for one of the two grandsons of John Gotti says, he got what was coming to him. This guy, he said this guy Gino had some kind of an issue, and the brothers went to talk to him about it. What happened was Gambrelli, this guy, entered a bedroom window at John Gotti's Jamaica house, and he stole $3,000, a pair of his sister's earrings. Again, his sister's married to one of the guys here. Stole $3,000, a pair of his sister's earrings, a watch, a wallet, a belt, and he was caught on surveillance camera breaking into the home. So he got picked up, and when he got released, the two sons of one of the guys, the grandsons of John Gotti, went looking for him, and they found him. And somebody called 911, and when the police got there, they saw the two grandsons beating the crap out of him in a fight. And the brothers had pleaded not guilty. Their lawyer said, it's a simple assault. It's only a B misdemeanor. I mean, they shouldn't have never, even been arrested. It was an argument basically between in-laws, He says, and this is the funny part, he said he needed money for boxing lessons, apparently, claiming the alleged theft. Gino got what was coming to him. And then the lawyer says, I think this is going to be tossed because Gambrelli himself would have to sign a supporting deposition within 60 days to make it official, and I don't think he's going to sign that paper after all. Yeah. How do you like living when you're home that isn't on fire today? Or how about that wife of yours, buddy? How about that cute little wife of yours? Jeez, America. 506, give her Pete and Flounder. 405, what's better? We got a little something there?
Yeah, we got Lynn on the phone. He wanted to chat with you.
Hello, Lynn. Welcome aboard. How's your Wednesday? What's up?
It's good. Kimmer, how was your Wednesday?
Terrific so far. Nobody's shooting at me, and it looks like it's going to be over at 6, so I'm very happy.
Now, you mentioned Jimmy Atchison earlier.
Yeah.
Jimmy Atchison was actually murdered. He had his hands up. He was unarmed, and he was in his boxers. That is testimony from other police officers that was on the scene. That police officer actually murdered him in cold blood.
Well, not according to the United States District Court judge. It said it was clearly self-defense. The evidence showed it very clearly. Jimmy Atchison was fighting against being taken into custody, and it looked like he was reaching for a weapon, and the cop, was right to do it, firing one shot, not like he emptied his clip.
Well, I've done a lot of research on that. I actually know Jimmy Atchison's father, and I've done a lot of research on that, and I've got a lot of court documents on that, and I don't know which document that you're looking at, but...
Well, the U.S. District Judge Michael Brown, he said the rapid movement, potentially both of his hands clamped together underneath the clothes. Thinking Mr. Atchison had a gun, was going to shoot. Defendant fired a single shot that killed him. The ruling, he said, was evidence for self-defense is so overwhelming, it's hard to understand how Georgia could have brought the charges in the first place, since much less the last 2.5 years. And he said, inexcusable abuse of prosecutorial discretion. Especially if the ruling was not unambiguous. He acted in self-defense, and they went way too far. The Fulton County DA compounded the tragedy, prosecuting him as an inexcusable abuse of prosecutorial discretion. That's what the U.S. District Judge said. And for you to say that this cop was, killed him in cold blood, that's just, not according to the facts, the evidence, and a U.S. District Judge.
What's the date on that?
What's today? Or yesterday, today's report from last night. The federal judge dismissed criminal charges against a former Atlanta police officer in the death of Jimmy Atchison, the 21-year-old black man. The judge said in his ruling yesterday, Tuesday, evidence of self-defense overwhelming. How could they even bring the charges in the first place, unquote?
There is testimony in court from other police officers that was on the scene that said he had his hands up, that he did not have any weapons, that his hands was not under any blankets, any shirts, or anything. That is testimony from other police officers in court.
Well, I wasn't in court. I don't know it. I don't know about that. All I know is the judge looked over this. A federal judge said they never should have brought the charge in the first place. And he obviously had his hands under the blankets, and they told him to, show us your hands, and he refused, and he acted suspicious, and then he raised him up like this under the blanket. Hell, I'd have shot him too. I mean, come on, man. So would you. Under those circumstances, let's look at the circumstances. He's wanted for a serious crime. The police are trying to find him. He's hiding. He's trying to get away from him. He refuses to cooperate. It's in the dark. He's in the closet. And all of a sudden, he shoves his hands up toward the cop. What, are you kidding me?
Well, the serious crime that he was accused of, the young lady that accused him of that crime later recanted and said that he did not commit that crime. These are things that have not been told.
Okay. Again, listen. I don't know. I don't want to argue with him. I'm just reading what the judge said, and I'm trying to put myself in the position of that police officer as we speak. And I don't mean to be so rough talking with you about that, but if I'm thinking about what cops do, and your adrenaline's going nuts. He's a wanted criminal, as far as you know. He's wanted for a major arrest for was it an armed robbery or something? And so that's all the cops knew. They're supposed to get the guy. He's fighting. He's running, he's hiding, he's suspicious, and all of a sudden, wham, bam, this goes like this, bam, pow, one shot. I mean, come on, that's totally reasonable. And being a cop, man, I mean, I wouldn't be a cop for $1 billion. I would do it for $1 billion, $500 million. I'd be a cop for $500 million. I mean, put yourself in that position. That cop did not do anything wrong. And he's not, I just don't believe he's a cold-blooded killer. I'll bet you that cop has not had a peaceful night since that happened because he had to kill a man.
This cop has had many disciplinary actions brought against him in the past for abuse of power, and the cops knew that he was not a violent criminal. He was accused of walking away with the girl's purse and wallet. Not a violent criminal, accused of walking away with her purse and wallet. That was the crime he was accused of.
Okay, but that wasn't where the cop was, and that wasn't where he was arrested walking down the street. He was arrested hiding from the cops and in a very suspicious way. Again, I mean, you can talk all you want. Well, that cop was a bad guy 7 years ago. I'll be damned. What's that got to do with him confronting that guy in a freaking closet, hiding with his hands under a blanket? I mean, I'm sorry. The guy, he's dead. It's terrible. But he should have cooperated. He said, I'm over here, officer. I didn't do anything, and I don't have anything in my hands. How about that? How about maybe he was freaking doing something so stupid that he was asking for trouble? He was running and hiding from the cops and acting suspiciously like he was going to shoot one of them. My God, man. I mean, this is outrageous. It's terrible. It's horrible. He's dead. He should not be dead. But that cop shouldn't have had to kill him either. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm glad you called. I'm not going to go. I don't know the court case about passed up and he walked away. Well, tough freaking bad. That he should have walked away toward the police station if he didn't do anything. Anyway, God, all right. I'm glad you called, but again, it's just when you start talking about cops, he abused his authority. He was going to be killed. He thought he was going to die. And let me tell you something. If you're ever in a situation where you're afraid someone's going to shoot at you because that's what they're trying to do, you react a little differently. I mean, when it's real. These cops are facing this when he didn't know what that guy had a gun or not. He assumed he had a gun. He was a wanted criminal. The cop had to assume he had a freaking gun. He was hiding and sneaking and he wouldn't cooperate. I mean, what would you think? God, I mean, for God's sakes. I'd put yourself in a cop pulling a car over 3 o'clock in the morning, come up to a tinted window and hoping the guy isn't pointing a gun at your chest. Jeez, you don't think he's a little nervous? The cop thought he was going to be killed. And he acted bam like that. He's under the thing and saying, going like this, bam. Jeez, I mean, how hard is that to understand? And again, sir, I'm sorry for your friend. I know the father. I'm sorry. I'll pray for his peace and the family. He never should have died, but the cop never should have had to kill him. I mean, it's horrible all the way around. All right, 513. And now the actual program. I'm seriously, God, give me a break.
Extra 106.3 has the biggest lineup of conservative voices all week, and we're loaded with live and local programming every weekend. The All Four Seasons Home Show, Back Your Blue, Ben Burnett, Janelle King, and NASCAR on Sundays. See the full weekend lineup at extra1063.com and stream it free on the Extra app.
Well, let's see. Last few weeks, I've had I've been sideswiped in my car and hit from behind on my chopper. Luckily, David Van Sant is always going to be there should I need him with any problem with, if you have a problem with an insurance company or, you need to get paid for something that happened to you and you didn't even do anything or whatever, David Van Sant's the guy who's going to get your money. David Van Sant, incidentally, he is on the list of the 100 top trial lawyers in Georgia. He is also on what they call their super lawyer list. It's true. For years and years and years, David Van Sant used to work for the insurance companies. He knows all about their tables and charts and graphs and how much they want to pay for this and that, and they don't want to pay any more. Well, that's tough because not everything's the same. Not everything's, a lot of different stuff. They may need a rental car for extra or the parts aren't there or something happens or whatever. You don't want to argue with an insurance company. They have lawyers out of the gazoo. Well, you do too with David Van Sant. Or don't forget, if you don't get paid, he doesn't get paid. You are number one. It's complicated. Let him straighten it out. Here's a number, 855-GA-INJURY. On the web, vansantlaw.com.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's here to tell you about a new company that is changing the way people buy their next pre-owned car or truck. At The Honest Car Guy, they offer a completely transparent way to purchase a vehicle. You pay what he pays, plus a small honest fee. You can choose any make or model. He will search the country for the best deal out there. He'll handle the paperwork, your trade-in, shipping, and even give you the bill of sale. Friends, I've done the research, and this is a buying process that you can trust. Call 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit online at honestcarguy.com.
Special Olympics Georgia is teaming up with Dunkin' Donuts for Cops on Donut Shops on June 6th from 6 to 10 a.m. Join us for the torch run and then some treats with our heroes on the streets. Together, we'll help raise money and awareness for Special Olympics Georgia athletes. Drive through and donate at participating Dunkin' Donuts June 6th or at specialolympicsga.org.
Back by popular demand, D. Geller & Son Jewelers Watches and Whiskey event is next weekend, June 13th through 15th, only at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we're celebrating summer and Father's Day by bringing in an incredible variety of new and pre-owned luxury Swiss timepieces. Fan favorites like Tissot and Omega, showstoppers like Rolex and Breitling, and while you're browsing, enjoy complimentary whiskey tastings thanks to Old Fourth Distillery. It's next weekend, June 13th through 15th. Learn more at dgeller.com.
That's right, I got it here. 1982, the best Star Trek movie of all of them, Star Trek II, it says here, The Wrath of Khan released, where Spock dies and Kirk yells, Khan! Oh, my goodness. And now sponsored by RBM of Atlanta. Holy crap, it's sports and Pete Davis.
Braves continue to falter, losing at home to the Diamondbacks 8-3 last night. Spencer Strider gave up 3 home runs, going 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. His ERA over 5. He walked 2, struck out 4, and falls to 0-4. The Braves fell behind 4-0 early, then came back within 1 run. So I looked in on the score. It was 5-3 with 2 outs in the top of the ninth. So I thought they've got a chance. Yeah. I checked back a few minutes later. It was 8-3, still with 2 outs at the top of the ninth. This is one of the few Braves highlights.
This is just his 29th pitch, and Baldwin drives one to deep right field to the chop house and out of here. The rookie of the month of the National League out to a good start here in June. He drives his 6th home run of the season into the chop house, and the Braves are on the board. It's now a 4-1 game.
There you go.
Ben Ingram on 680 The Fan there. Ozzie Albies an RBI. So tonight the 5-2 Merrill Kelly for Arizona against Chris Sale, who's 3-3. Sean Murphy is behind the plate. So Drake Baldwin hits a home run last night, and he's not playing tonight. Despite going 0-4 last night, somehow Alex Verdugo is back in the lineup tonight. Of course, there's a righty versus lefty thing. But Eli White has more runs, more triples, more home runs, more RBIs, more stolen bases, a higher slugging percentage, and OPS. Eli White is also faster and the superior defensive player. Verdugo has a higher batting average, more doubles, and more walks. So you make the call.
Wow.
Who's playing?
Can't you play both of them? Can't you, every other inning or something? I mean, there's got to be a way to do something.
No, you can't.
I know.
Well, you got Marcel has to be the DH.
Well,
so,
right. and he's hurt.
Hitting.
He's got that, is it an oblique thing? But he's
walking.
Yeah, he is.
Torn muscle in his hip.
Yeah.
You can't blame the third base coach anymore, so better start winning.
That's
all I got to say.
There you go.
Braves still in fourth place in the East, a half game behind Washington, 10 games behind the first place Mets. And you can now go on at AtlantaBraves.com and vote for the All-Star game. I wrote in Drake Baldwin's name at catcher today. You can write in.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
What I did. With a 3-2 win at Miami last night, the woeful Rockies ended their record-setting streak of 22 consecutive series losses dating back to last season. Colorado is now 12-50 because guess what? They swept the Marlins today. Beat writer Mark Bowman tweets the Rockies now have as many wins over the past 3 days as the Braves over the past 17 days.
Wow.
I guess Orlando Arcia is the missing piece in Denver.
Well,
he went 0-4.
By the way, the Babylon Bee says the Rockies are rewarded for their 10th win with a pizza party at Chuck E. Cheese. That's cold, man.
That is cold. For years, I've made a joke about saying things like the Bahamas Bowl, played annually in Rapid City, South Dakota. But just like the Babylon Bee headlines, my jokes are starting to come true. For the second time in 3 years, the Bahamas Bowl will not be held in the Bahamas. It was played in Charlotte 2 years ago. They have no idea where it'll be playing this upcoming bowl season. How about Old Turner Field?
There you go.
Georgia State's new field. We could all wear Hawaiian shirts, make it the world's largest tiki bar. I make a hell of a Mai Tai.
Put a teepee out there or something just for kicks. I don't know.
Yeah. What do you when you think of the Bahamas? What's the first thing you think of?
Beaches and water and girls in bikinis and Mai Tais.
I think of pirates. Black sails and all that. That was a good show.
Not me. I think of girls on the beach.
This year's Women's College World Series of softball is achieving record ratings on ESPN, up 25% from last year. Over 1 million people on average are watching. 2 million watched the game a night or two ago.
One reason why? I'll bet you one reason why is because sports fans, especially of women's sports, are sick and tired of women's basketball being a racist, freaking bully, punk, gang-banging, chicken-headed hood rat
rapping
gang.
Woke BS fest is what it is.
And turning girls softball. And again,
they're better athletes in the softball.
And they're beautiful and they're happy and their makeup and it's just everything about it.
And they can play their sport and they play it with vim and vigor. And the WNBA, it's all about thuggery and missing layups and getting your own rebounds and calling it a rebound, please.
Their teammates and play. The only thing wrong with girls softball is that after every pitch, they all have to walk out of the batter's box about 20 feet and come back. That's wrong. But anyway, I like that. At least they get to walk around. That's all right.
Braves legend Chipper Jones slamming some college baseball coaches on social media, saying he'd only watch a few teams from now on because some coaches allow their players to show disrespect to the other players, teams, and the game itself. Some think he was talking about Florida and maybe Wake Forest coach for using a homophobic slur. Both the Gators and Demon Deacons have been eliminated. Karma is a biatch. So,
we used to, in prep school, when we did athletic stuff, we had to have a tea afterwards. The opposing team was invited up into the athletic field house dining area, and we would have called a tea, where we would serve them soft drinks and little pastry things after the sporting event to our enemies.
Did you exchange brassieres?
It was called having
tea?
We have a tea.
A tea?
A tea, that's right.
What is this, cricket?
We did not serve tea, but it was called a tea. We're going to have a tea for the opposing enemies.
We ran
players.
as quick as we could at Glenwood Hills to the concession stand, wanted to get our free Coke. There was no Gatorade or water. It was a free Coca-Cola, and I'd buy a stack of baseball cards before your mother saw it.
That's right. A little bubble gum in there. Those cardboard hard bubble gum, hard as a rock.
Concrete slabs.
Oh my God,
what they were.
That pink slab of something. That's
the smell.
You used to love that smell of bubble gum in those wraps. Oh yeah, that was good.
NBA Finals start tomorrow night. Indiana against Oklahoma City. Here's some good news. ESPN may replace TV analyst Doris Burke next season. While Burke knows her stuff, she's about as interesting as a sloth scratching its behind. It's a game. It's supposed to be entertaining and informative, not just a professorial lecture. Just my opinion. We welcome yours.
That's a good
the
one.
woman's boring. That's my opinion. Today in sports history, June 4th, 1990. Speaking of Chipper, the Braves select Mr. Jones with the first overall pick in the MLB draft. Thank you, Todd Van Poppel.
That's
Bobby
right.
Cox flew out there to talk to him, and Todd goes, I don't want to play for y'all.
Yeah. Was he a pitcher?
Yes.
I'm trying to.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a pitcher and not a very good one.
Well, I'm trying to remember if he ever did anything. Of course, it was 20 years ago.
He didn't play very much. It was 30 years ago, 35 years ago.
That's right. Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
1964, Sandy Koufax no-hits the Phillies. 3-0 Dodgers win at Connie Mack Stadium. Koufax, the fourth major leaguer to throw 3 no-hitters. Name at least one of them.
One of the other pitcher, Nolan Ryan.
No.
Tom
was
Seaver.
1964. I think Nolan Ryan was just getting started.
There were 3 others? I'm sorry. Sue the question again. I misheard it totally. You talking about 1 year only?
4 men had thrown 3 no-hitters. Name one of them besides Sandy.
So you're talking about any time in baseball?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
any time in the history of baseball.
Who threw
3
no-hitters? Don Drysdale.
No, this is 1964.
Okay, you didn't say that in the question. So are you telling me that
I did.
in the year of 1964, 3 guys threw no hitters?
No, and you two wait with me till I get back. 1964, Sandy Koufax no-hit the Phillies.
Okay,
he became the 4th major league pitcher to throw 3 no-hitters.
Okay,
name one of the other 3.
Oh, up to 1964. Well, that would have been
correct.
Sandy Koufax. You just said that. Let's see. That would have been. Obviously Walter Johnson and Cy Young.
Cy Young.
Babe Ruth.
Yes.
How about Babe Ruth?
No, not
Cy
Babe Ruth.
Young.
Larry Kokorin and Bob Feller.
I would have known Bob Feller. I would have guessed him. That big old farm boy. He was something.
1968 at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles, Robert Kennedy, giving his victory speech in the California primary, told his supporters, quote, "I'd like to express my high regard to Don Drysdale, who pitched his 6th straight shutout tonight, and I hope we can have as good fortune in our campaign," end quote. Minutes later, Robert Kennedy was assassinated by Sirhan Sirhan in the kitchen.
Wow. By the way, and that day, Don Drysdale pitching his 6th straight shutout after 58 shutout innings.
It's amazing.
Wow.
1974 on 10-cent beer night. There's a good idea. Home plate umpire Nestor Shylak stopped play with the score tied at 5 in the bottom of the 9th. He gave the Rangers a forfeited victory over the Indians at Cleveland Stadium. Okay. The promotion had sold an estimated 60,000 cups of brew to a crowd of just 25,000.
Oh, boy.
The fans become unmanageable. They drunk. They attacked Texas outfielder and future Brave Jeff Burroughs, and then the umpires.
Oh, boy.
So... 2010, the Brevard County, Florida Manatees announced they will stop taking BP. Why?
Oh, my. Too many crowd people yelling and screaming before the game? Offensive
They protested the massive oil spill in the Gulf of America caused by the company of the same initials, BP. They changed it to HR, which stands for hitting rehearsal.
HR. Very funny. Very amusing.
1913, English suffragette Emily Davison decides to protest women not being able to vote by running out onto a horse track. Emily Davison was 40 years old. With some of the horses having passed her, she ducked under the guardrail and ran onto the course and reached up to the reins of Anmer, which was King George V's horse, ridden by Herbert Jones. The animal hit her. He was traveling an estimated 35 miles per hour. She was hit 4 seconds after stepping onto the course. Anmer fell down, partly rolled over his jockey. His foot got momentarily caught in the stirrup. Davidson knocked to the ground unconscious. Some say she was kicked in the head, but that's not true, according to the surgeon. So there was no trace of that. You can watch it. The event was captured on 3 newsreel cameras. Davison, operated on 2 days later, never regained consciousness. While in hospital, she received hate mail. She died from a fracture at the base of her skull. The King and Queen Mary were there to see it. In her journal, the Queen described Davison as a horrid woman. Jones suffered a concussion and other injuries. Says, "I can't remember. All I know is she clutched at my horse and I felt it strike her." He recovered to race Anmer the horse at Ascot 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
They say she was trying to pin a flag, a suffragette flag, on a moving racehorse.
A racehorse, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
1984, 1960 champion Arnold Palmer failed to qualify for the U.S. Open Golf Championship for the first time in 32 years.
32 years. And he never won the PGA, I think was the one. Arnold Palmer never won the PGA. Speaking of golf, Pete Davis, 1927 on this day was the first Ryder Cup. Worcester Country Club in America beats Great Britain 9.5 to 2.5. Walter Hagen was the first American Ryder Cup captain. Ted Ray was the first for Great Britain Ryder Cup. And on this day in 1838, the first officially recorded baseball game played in North America, played in Beachville, Ontario. The game included 5 bases, a bat, a yarn ball covered with calf skin. 1838 American baseball in North America, Ontario. Holy cow. This game is older than a lot of people think. 1838. Officially recorded, anyway. 5:30, come here, Pete and Flounder. How's it going? We got more coming up here. Look out. Here we go. Stand by.
Need more than just headlines on your ride to work? It's the Morning Extra, live from 6 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. Well, at RBM of Atlanta, we embody this philosophy. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for the required service. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2023 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience and Georgia's only 9-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best winner. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor for details.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air. Now, I know there are plenty of HVAC companies out there, but let me tell you why Central Heating and Air Conditioning stands out from the rest. These days, it's hard to tell who's on first. Everybody wants to play. Many of the local HVAC companies, though, have been sold to large conglomerates. And some are even coming back under new names. But at Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they never left the field. They've been your hometown team since 1947. And their dedication to our community has never wavered. They are the grand slam you can count on. Central's team of experts know the game inside and out, delivering dependable service and personalized solutions every time. So don't get caught off base. Choose the HVAC team that's always been in the game. Get Carrier products, Carrier warranty, and Carrier peace of mind. Turn to your Atlanta Carrier experts, Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today, 770-GET-HEAT, or visit them online at centralheat.com. We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Life is unpredictable, but when trouble comes, you need a team you can trust. At A Second Chance Bail Bonds, we've been helping families for nearly 20 years, providing fast, professional, and discreet service. With 12 locations across Metro Atlanta and Birmingham, we're available 24/7 to get your loved one home, quick and with care. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call 404-BAIL-OUT, that's 404-BAIL-OUT, or visit atlbail.com today.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Hey, Atlanta's Mark from the Safe House. I have a question for you. Am I the only person pissed off with the mainstream fake news, liberal judges,
and whiny liberal politicians
who don't realize why Donald Trump is president, and fake safes? And you may wonder, why fake safes? Well, a fake safe is like Joe Biden, cheap and ineffective. A real safe from Atlanta Safe House is like Donald Trump, tough, effective, and provides peace of mind when you need it the most. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast and see what a real safe looks like. So go to atlantasafehouse.com.
A study by Allianz Life reveals that 63% of Americans harbor the fear of running out of money in retirement. With that, let's turn to Coach Pete. Coach, what about the word safe?
Safe. Big word. Big word. Misconstrued sometimes. When you hear safe, it seems boring to some people. Safe, you think of a CD at the bank paying 1%. But there are some safe strategies that will grow your money, help you participate in the upside of the market, but not the downside, and give you lifetime income you can never outlive. That is the true safe. And that puts safety, gives you peace of mind if you have the right safety, doesn't it?
It sure does. And get a look at what the right safety plan for your retirement could be. Call Coach Pete's local trusted advisor, Craig Chandler of Chandler Wealth Management. 800-419-6164. 800-419-6164. 800-419-6164. Craig Chandler, 800-419-6164.
Wake up with the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
What Donald Trump has done, and turn it up a little bit for you out there, liberal listeners, Donald Trump has eliminated what Joe Biden created over 4 years.
That's effectiveness is what that is.
Here we go. 5:35. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder for you there. A little hump day music from 1976. CBGB.
Mr. Jim, I can see the shape you're in.
1976, live recordings made.
Finger on your eyebrow.
It was a new wave venue.
Left hand on your hip.
And I've got two different spellings here. It's either CBGBs or GBGBs. They recorded new wave performances from Blondie, Mink DeVille singing here, Talking Heads, Laughing Dogs, and Tough Darts. The tracks were on the album Live at CBGB's New York, 1976. Man, we've had a whole mix of some bizarre music here today. It's kind of cool. I like having things that are weird and you don't know anything about. Something new. A couple of more sports leftover things here, my friends. Pete Davis, on this day, birthday, Andrea Jaeger is 60. Former tennis star as a teenager, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And a very successful. I don't know whether she was a Hall of Famer, but she was very famous for a long time. Andrea Jaeger is 60.
No, probably not.
Yeah, probably not. On this day, Pete Davis also, 1972, the Dodgers retired the numbers of Jackie Robinson, number 42, Sandy Koufax, 32, and Roy Campanella, 39. On this day in 1972, and... It's I'd say in history. Oh, yeah, Pete sent me a message. There's something I need to do. Cool. I know Peter Ducey's story. I'll do that for us here in just 1 second. Can you open that up? Because I'm going to do a donut thing here, and then we'll do that. And we have a game to play. Let's do a game next. You want to do that?
Sure.
Let's do it. We'll do this newsy thing, and then we'll do a game. First of all, this is a cute story, and I remember every year I kind of remember doing this. 1938. First background. When American soldiers went to war in 1917, several women from the Salvation Army followed them to France to help them create a home away from home. The Salvation Army women. This included darning their socks, mending their uniforms, and creating donuts from scratch. This was 1917, World War I. Years later, the first National Donut Day was celebrated in Chicago as a way to raise money for the needy. Today, this is National Donut Day. The first one was on this day in 1938. National Donut Day is celebrated on the first Friday of June, usually, and used more or less as a reason for people to snag a free donut at some local bakery, which is true. And the first one was in 1938. Now they do it on a Friday thing, but anyway. So there you go. 5:38. Flounder. I'm sorry I didn't get my sign up here. Do we have a little musical accompaniment here with a little thing here? Bless that bad. They're laughing at me again.
Yeah, because you just said we were going to do the story first. but I guess we'll just put that last.
Oh, the story of the donut day.
No, the story I just sent you.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. Let's do that first. Because the problem is I was thinking about that because I have another kind of related story and I didn't want to split them up. But let's do that. I'm sorry. I'm not good.
No, it's okay.
I'm not good.
It's ADHD and you can't help it.
It's true. I can't help it, and it's a thing. And I've been here for many years, and
we all have
excuse.
it. All three of us have it in certain levels.
We do.
So.
Absolutely.
Yes, we do. Yes,
yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, Pete. Please entertain us here with that, sir, if you will.
Peter Ducey has gone through all of Joe Biden's signed documents on the justice.gov website. He was only able to find one Joe Biden signature that wasn't an identical match to the rest. They think this means that in the 4 years, Joe Biden may not have signed but one.
I remember the only one they say they know is Joe Biden was the pardon for Hunter Biden. Is the only signature that they can determine was real was when he signed for Hunter Biden. Now, and again, there's got to be surveillance tape. There's got to be a lock and key. There's got to be, you have to sign there's got to be a way to determine who hit the button for that auto pen.
They can't find the cocaine and who brought that in.
Yeah, but the auto pen, I mean, that's not somebody's back closet. That's in fact, actually, and somebody was kind enough when I was talking about this earlier to show me a picture of it. Where is it? Is it is it under lock and key in a room? Is it out in front of some secretary? I mean, where is it? Who has access to it? How do you get to it? I mean, you got to be kidding me. And they ought to be able to figure that out immediately.
Why haven't we seen that on the nightly
news? Look at
the whole thing about it.
Yeah, everything about it. Nothing. There's been nothing.
Explain how it works.
Yeah.
If this was Trump, we'd have a documentary on the formation of the auto pen.
Yeah. And if it were Trump involved in this, the FBI would have already faked documents around there showing that he never signed a thing. That's what the FBI would have done, like they did when he had his Mar-a-Lago raid with the freaking documents, those dirty, stinking slime bags. And in fact, Pete Davis, I'll do the game here in a second. This related story, Comer now is widening that probe about the auto pen and everything else. Comer of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, Kentucky, has sent letters to 5 more staffers, that's a total of 10, including Chief of Staff Ron Klain, former Senior Communications Advisor Anita Dunn, advisors Michael Donnellan, Steve Ricchetti, and former Deputy Chief for Policy Bruce Reed. He sent him a letter, says, we want to know what you know. We're investigating this, and he sent everyone a specific letter on what they wanted from that specific person. To Ron Klain, I won't read this all or all of the people, the different 5. You cut short Ron Klain, you cut short the debate prep because of the president's fatigue and lack of familiarity with the subject matter. You said the president didn't understand what the argument was on inflation. Your responsibilities and personal interactions with the Oval Office cannot go without investigation. And he did the same kind of thing, wanting specific information from all 5 of the new 5 requesting interviews with the House Oversight Committee. They get a letter first, and if they don't cooperate, they're probably going to get a subpoena. And he ought to be subpoenaing everybody, including the members of the Biden family who got pardons. Because even though they can't be charged with a crime, I don't believe a pardon says you never have to testify under oath before Congress about anything else.
Yep.
So call them before Congress, put them under oath, and say, where'd you get the money there, Christina, from your Uncle Ceausescu in Romania, little girl? Your college money. Where'd that come from? Seriously, where is it now? Did you pay taxes on it? Let me see your tax forms. I mean, the whole thing has got to unfold. Every stinking one needs to be put under oath before Congress. Anyway. Sorry, he yelled at you. And now, as we said, Flounder, I'm sorry, now we're trying to musical accompaniment appears. We were going to do this.
So we are ready this time.
Oh, you did it, Fab. Well, I'm not sure we're ready. I'm only doing this. I'm only waving this sign. I don't know anything about being ready. Anyway, Pete Davis probably does. So what do you got there? What do you got?
What is ailurophobia?
Ailur, spelled A-L what?
A-I-L-U-R-O phobia. Ailurophobia.
It's the fear that you've hurt your elbow.
Fear of cats.
Really? A-I-L? Where do they get the A-L from, I wonder?
I don't know.
I'll be damned.
Amathophobia.
Well, you're scared of mathematicians, clearly.
Well, close. Dust.
Math?
Astropophobia.
Well, you're scared of getting hit by a falling star, clearly.
Close. Fear of lightning.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
That's right. Emetophobia.
Well, you're afraid
I'll give you a hint.
You're emitting gases without intention. Oh, you're throwing up a lot, afraid to puke?
Afraid of vomiting.
Oh, aren't we all? All
right.
That's one of the worst.
Yeah.
That may be the one thing I will try to stop, knowing that you can't say it's coming.
But once you do, you feel 100% better.
Yeah, you think, oh, thank you. Whew. Now you got to rinse your mouth.
I don't try and stop it anymore. I just say, let's get it over with right now.
The last time I gave up and said, here it comes, it's just go do it. So,
Eruthophobia.
Eruthophobia. Eruthian. Gee, I don't even have a guess on that one.
Fear of blushing.
Wow. I never heard. Are these Latin words, I wonder? Never
Looks
heard
like
of any of these
Greek.
things. Yeah, maybe. It wouldn't be right.
Genophobia.
Genophobia. Afraid of knowing your relatives.
Afraid of Raiders quarterback Geno Smith. No, genophobia is a fear of sex.
Well, I've never even heard of that thing. I'll be darned. Genophobia. Genophobia. Wow. I don't get it.
Misophobia.
Oh, afraid of that Chinese soup.
Or the Star Wars character. Fear of dirt. Fear of soup. I like that. Fear of soup. Okay, nyctophobia. You should know nyctophobia.
Well, afraid of smoking, getting cancer from lung cancer.
No, that's fear of the dark.
Oh, the dark?
Yeah.
Oh, the dark.
Ornithophobia.
Ornithophobia. Ornithophobia. Well, it's something. The bird's feathers scare you at night. There you go.
Birds. Panigophobia.
Well, you've said the N-word, sir, and I'm sorry.
I said it's got a P in front of it.
The panigophobia. All right, then. That would be the fear of livestock entering your bedroom. Choking?
Fear of choking.
Wow.
Fear of choking.
I'll be
Pteronophobia.
Well, afraid of pterodactyls. Prehistoric monsters.
Fear of feathers. Fear of feathers. And that's the game. That's all.
I'll be damned. Well, there you are. Oh, my goodness, 5:45. Well, there you are. We had the whole segment there and stuff. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And we got some more stuff here. And, everything's fine. It's going to be fine.
Stuff?
Yeah, we got Flounder's. In fact, I owe you, don't I owe you a Flounder's Funny? I think I do. Flounder, don't I? Should we just stick with the one? You decide. You got him in.
We'll stick with the one.
Okay, there we are. Well, that makes it easy on all of us. All right, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounders. Hump day, so humpity hump, baby. Look out.
The Kimmer Show is live until 6 p.m. and Extra 106.3 has the rest of your night covered with Jesse Kelly up next. Fox Across America with Jimmy Fela at 9 p.m. and The Guy Benson Show at midnight. All live on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Neil Borch here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, CPAPs.com.
You upgrade your phone, you upgrade your wardrobe, even your lawn. So why not upgrade the part of your home that actually protects your family? Southern Exteriors specializes in roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and they're making it easier than ever before with 10% off any job or 12 months of 0% financing. Hey, it's Tug, and I know the folks at Southern Exteriors. They show up, they do it right, and they stand behind their work. Call them today, 877-9-SOUTHERN, or visit southernexteriors.co.
I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute. It's been almost half a century since San Jose teacher Diane Peterson was stabbed to death in the hallway of her school, but now police say they've cracked the case. On June 16th, 1978, a student found Peterson on the floor near her classroom with a single stab wound to her chest. Earlier this week, the Santa Clara District Attorney's Office said that Harry Nicky Nickerson was the person who stabbed her. He was 16 years old at the time and a longtime suspect. A witness had told police that Nickerson had confessed to the crime and that he had seen him carrying a knife that had written on it, "Teacher Dear," but the claim went unverified. In 1983, another student claimed he saw the killing, and the attack happened because Peterson caught Nickerson selling drugs, but he then recanted that allegation. Just this year, investigators met with one of Nickerson's family members who admitted Nickerson came to their home minutes after the killing and confessed to the stabbing. Nickerson committed suicide in 1993. There's more on the story at foxnews.com or subscribe to the Fox True Crime Podcast. I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute.
Don't let your afternoon drive get bogged down with traffic and weather breaks. Just enjoy the Kimmer Show from 3 to 6 p.m.
Donald Trump, the former billionaire playboy, a real estate developer from New York, is all of a sudden president of the United States again, and America spoke because we want to go back to, close the borders, let's get the economy going again, to go back to normal, values in America, stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, the Democrats can't stop. They're the ones who got Donald Trump almost murdered twice.
Don't worry, it's only the Kimmer on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app. This is Atlanta's new home for Fox News, Extra 106.3 FM.
Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder and Jimmy Hendrix. 1967, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Procol Harum, Denny Lane, and the Chiffons all appeared at the Seville Theatre in London, 1967. Paul McCartney and George Harrison were in the audience to see Jimi Hendrix and the title track from Sgt. Pepper, which had been released just 3 days earlier. We wanted to see Jimmy perform the title track in 1967. So he got that going for him. Let's see. Our birthday list. Oh, my God. Michelle Phillips, Mamas and the Papas, and the mother of Mackenzie. Michelle Phillips, 81 years old today. Let's see. Bar Raffaelli, the Israeli model, used to be with Leonardo DiCaprio until she turned 21. Bar Raffaelli is 40 years old today with a thinger. And on this day, and oh my God, I didn't get a history thing. Hold on a second. I got a good history thing here for you today, too. Hold on a minute. I got to pick this one right here. I swear to God, I'm totally organized. Let's do a big battle day, Midway, 1942, Battle of Midway. One of the most decisive American victories against Japan. It changed everything in World War II. 4-day sea and air battle. Outnumbered Pacific Fleet in America destroyed 4 Japanese aircraft carriers and lost only one of our own, the Yorktown, to the previously invincible Japanese Navy. We were a growing threat. The Admiral Yamamoto tried to destroy our fleet before it could outmatch his own. And it's a very long story. There was a naval code, American threat in the Central Pacific. U.S. intelligence broke a Japanese naval code. There was a surprise attack, which we found out about it. It's a very, very long story and a really interesting story of what happened. In fact, have you ever seen the movie Battle of Midway? There are a couple of them, and they all have an awful lot about what it was. And it was even more than that. But still, it's an incredible story. And it changed everything because it showed, hey, Japan was invincible on the sea until then. And they also, Japan made a couple of dumb mistakes, and they changed. Didn't they change torpedo planes into bomb planes, and then had to change them back? And by that time, it was too late, and they got caught. And it's an incredible story, the Battle of Midway.
Kimber, watch the documentary more than the movies. It explains exactly.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Flounder.
I was going to say, look at the Fox News headline right now.
Boomers' weed use. Whoa. Baby boomers' weed use hits all-time high. Now, how did they know that? A survey, obviously, assuming people are telling the truth. Well, I
haven't answered any questions.
Well, now, baby boomers are I'm one, born after World War II. Like 1950, I was born, late 40s, but between 1945 and 1965, something like that, I think, a baby boomer?
63, 64
like
around,
yeah. So the youngest baby boomers are 65-ish. Or 60-ish.
64.
Yeah, you're a baby boomer. You're the last of the baby boomers. I'm the first of the baby boomers. And between that age bracket, between 60 and 80, I completely understand that because the whole thing of weed has become so.
It was prevalent when we were kids in high school. We had a smoking section at Parkview for tobacco, but you know what happened.
I never did drugs. I never smoked pot when I was a teenager. When I was young, I never smoked it in the Marines.
Oh, everybody did.
The only time, I was a goody two shoes. The first time I smoked pot was in graduate school at Michigan State. After I came back out of the Marines and went back to college, I went to Michigan State, and I was a graduate assistant teaching a course, and I was one of the college scholarship guys there, and fellowship winners. And the master guy, there were 4 of us in his little group, and he had us over to his house to celebrate our getting our graduate stuff. And he brought out a couple of joints. And I'd obviously seen them, but I'd never smoked one. And so I did. And all I remember is I started giggling like an idiot, and I got very hungry. But that was the first time. And then, I was married, and I didn't smoke any weed when I was married. I smoked cigarettes like a crazy man. But I never did. I never did drugs that whole time, really. But now, when I was I kind of wish weed was legal. If weed was legal, I mean, that's another thing. But here's the only problem with that. I guarantee you that if weed is legalized, my family lives in Colorado, and I guarantee you everything goes up in price. When you start legalizing recreational marijuana, all of a sudden all the rents go up, your prices go up, housing everything goes up because people are going to go there to flock to the thing, and it works. But the problem is if there's not a blood test to determine whether you're influenced, if you have it in your system, you're screwed. If you smoke weed the night before and then the next morning you're on the way to work and you're totally safe and there's no hangover feeling of the weed, but you get in an accident and hurt somebody and they give you a blood test and you have weed in your system, you're screwed. Even though it had nothing to do with the accident, you're not high. The way from 15 hours ago, I don't think it lasts that long, does it? I mean, I don't think that's true.
A month.
Well, no, I mean, it'll be in your system for a month, but you won't be high for a month on one joint. I mean, smoking weed for one night. But again, you could go to jail for 12 years because you were, DWI. And that just does, so that is the thing that scared me. I'd be afraid to, get caught doing it just because, if something happened, it wasn't even your fault for anything. But still, if you had drugs in your system, you're screwed. Even if the guy jumped in front of your car. Well, you had drugs in your system, you couldn't control yourself. Yeah, it's your honor. Oh, God, that'd be a nightmare. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted there. Oh.
Well, we already have a nation of dullards. Why don't we just dull our senses?
Well, that's the
more?
other thing. I mean, it can't be good. And they're saying that weed these days is way stronger than it used to be. That it's not even close.
Yeah,
that people, old people said, well, it's no big deal. Have a joint before school. You can't do that now.
My friend calls it polio weed because you can't walk afterwards.
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, so that's just dangerous. Anyway, whatever. Well, whatever. If they legalize it, I'll be smoking it. But I'd be very careful.
Dangerously fun.
Yeah. Well, but again, I'd be nervous about driving and getting caught in an accident that wasn't my fault. Even if there was somebody hurt and you got weed in your system, you're screwed.
I was so good at drinking, I just stuck with what I knew, and I made a master class out of it.
I should start. I don't drink. I haven't had a drink. I haven't had a hard drink. Liquor of any kind. I've got liquor all over the place. I haven't had a drink in months.
I got a stocked bar, and I've got probably a great bar, and I hardly ever take a sip.
Look at it. In fact, months ago, I tried to have a glass of was it brandy? Yeah, brandy, and it was kind of interesting. It was nice. It was interesting, but but that was
port
months
in the
ago.
winter. A little glass of port.
Yeah,
at night
port.
with a cigar.
Well, port's too bitter, too heavy and bitter for me. I don't really like port.
It can be sweet. Port can be sweet.
Well, I haven't had the sweet port, I guess. Anyway.
Pardon?
Let's see. Well, gosh, we're almost out of time, Flounder. I can't believe it. If you want to have a good laugh, Karine Jean-Poitrine, the podium princess, now claims she's no longer a Democrat. She's totally an independent, and she's insulted by what's happened with her Democratic Party has fallen apart, and she's now coming out with a freaking book. The podium princess is coming out with another one coming out with a book on how the Democratic Party was broken inside the White House, outside the party lines. Betrayal of the Democrat Party that led to the decision for Joe Biden being kicked out of the... Oh, please. Hey, this woman, the podium princess, Karine, please. What a disgrace. Anyway, and Senator Grassley caught former FBI director of the criminal and traitor Christopher Wray lying again to Congress. Man should be in prison. He's a freaking traitor to his country. Behind the 9/11 stuff, not 9/11, behind the January 6th stuff, and the bomb planning guy and the Hunter laptop and everything else. Anyway, all right, 5:58, Flounder. Sing us out here with something happy on the old audio happiness.
I don't know. You know what the worst things are? Those automated machines. You guys have those out here? Those automated checkout machines? I couldn't believe it. The first time I walked into a supermarket and I saw that. I was like, this is ridiculous. Here it is. I thought I was a comedian. Evidently, I also work at a grocery store. Holy shit, I can't believe I forgot my apron. God, was I working tonight? I should have checked the schedule. Dude, do you realize the balls of that? The balls of that. Yeah, I'm going to have a store. You come in, you pick out what you want, you bring it up, you ring it up, you pay me, you put it in a bag, and then you get the out of my store. Let's go, people. Step it up. I'm trying to run a business here. Dude, if that is the future, if there's going to be no employees at a grocery store, I'm never paying for food again. Then when security shows up, you just play dumb. Like, what? I didn't know. Sir, you have to bring that back. No, I don't. What, are you going to cut my hours? I work here.
It's like when bankers say they're doing you a favor when you use the ATM. I'm doing your job for you. Don't tell me that you're doing me a favor. Anyway, almost 6 o'clock. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Christine, sing me home, baby. I gotta go. You're killing me. Go Braves. Hoorah. Herp and a herp. Look out.
The Kimmer Show is live on your ride home on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta on Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.